This is Lane & Associates Friday Night Rivals, presented by NC Assist Loan.
The Lane & Associates Friday Night Rivals, presented by NC Assist Loan. We love to make you smile. Tonight, Week 6 of Friday Night Rivals features the Bulldogs of Terry Sanford at 3-1 out of the Patriot Conference, taking on the undefeated 5-0 Rolesville Rams. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the farm here in Rolesville, North Carolina. Patrick Keenis alongside former ECU standout Jay Sohnhalter. And Jay, as the non-conference winds down for Rolesville and a little break from the conference season for Terry Sanford, what's at stake tonight?
Well, lots at stake. Both these teams, this is a good test for them. When I watch both these teams, I see teams that are talented but well coached in all three phases of the game. Coming on the road, though, this is going to be a tough environment for Terry Sanford.
All right, let's talk about the keys to the game tonight. We'll begin with Terry Sanford. They made some changes, especially to their offense. Installed a young freshman at running back with a quarterback they call the Gambler and first-year starter. What do we see out of the keys tonight?
Yeah, well, for the keys, the biggest thing for Terry Sanford is the line play. If they can win the line play, they feel like they're going to win, and then also the turnover battle. If you can win that, that's always going to lead to success. Then for Rolesville, special teams, they've excelled in the kicking game. Balance on offense is so important for them. They got a talented quarterback, but also great running back.
All right, let's now focus our eyes on a couple of individuals on the Rams and the Bulldogs. We should say focus on tonight. Who do you got?
Ezemdi Udoh for Terry Sanford, committed to NC State. When you look at him, you can tell he's got talent, but you see potential. He's a guy you're going to be watching in years to come. He's going to play tight end. He can box you out catching the ball, but on the defensive end, he's going to get after the quarterback. For Rolesville, Jonathan Adorno, also committed to NC State. He's going to play tackle. He's a mauler up front. When you watch him tonight, you're going to see him driving his man down the field. He's got 34 pancake blocks already on the season.
All right, for the Rams, they've never had a winning season, but they're off to a 5-0 start under first-year head coach Martin Samick, who knows about taking programs to the playoffs with Parkland High. But it is his first year here on the farm, and here with his story, third member of our broadcast crew, it's Aaron Summers. Aaron?
Thanks, Patrick. Rolesville first-year head coach Martin Samick is still getting used to the teams in the area. He said it's been one of the biggest challenges moving from Winston-Salem to the greater Raleigh area. However, he said he is very familiar with the brand of football Fayetteville brings. And these Terry Sanford Bulldogs, they bring a lot of physicality and a track record of success. They have been to the playoffs the last 5 seasons straight. Samick said it's going to be a great test for his undefeated football team before they head into conference play. Will the Rams stay undefeated and move to 6-0? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. The kickoff between Terry Sanford and Rolesville is coming up next.
And a live shot back at the farm in Rolesville. Friday Night Rivals, Terry Sanford taking on the undefeated Rolesville Rams. Let's go down to midfield for our United States Marine Corps coin toss. Brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. Contact your local recruiter today. Rolesville wins the toss. They will defer. Terry Sanford will go on offense to begin this contest. Well, Rolesville, Jay, comes in 5-0, and the road-tested Terry Sanford Bulldogs at 3-1. All of their games technically away from home while they reconstruct a new stadium that will open up next year. So they have brought a lot of fans from about an hour and a half away here to Rolesville. And meanwhile, the Rams sitting 5-0, and Jay, the school opened in 2013. They've never had a winning season. That's almost assured. However, their aspirations are much higher.
They're in uncharted territory, but with the talent they have, the way the season's been going, they're targeting much higher levels of success.
And here's our Lane & Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. We love to make you smile. Short kick return beyond the 40-yard line. An excellent field position for the Terry Sanford Bulldogs. They're under the direction of fourth-year head coach Bruce McClellan, who was actually on this Bulldog staff about a decade ago. Left, has returned, elevated now to the head coach. But like a lot of the players and a lot of the members on this lovingly ancient staff for the Bulldogs, I mean, he played. He was the member of the JV squad when they played for the state championship back in 1985. And now in his 4th season, tries to get the Bulldogs back to the postseason. Jacob Knight will be the quarterback, and we get a whistle before the first snap from the scrimmage. And we have an offside violation going against Rolesville.
Rolesville had 21 penalties last week against Broughton, so that's something they need to focus on in this ballgame to improve and not the start they wanted.
And there's Martin Samick in his first year as the head coach for the Rams. Spent 6 years at Parkland High. Last year, lost to the #1 seed in the second round, Watauga. 21 penalties last week, 16 penalties earlier in the regular season, and a hard sprinting drive ahead beyond the 50-yard line and to about the 46. And we'll get a look at the starting lineups brought to you by NC Assist Loan. And here's a look at the offense for Terry Sanford. Jacob Knight, senior quarterback, but basically his first year running the offense. He's been a wide receiver, he's been a safety. They look at Trey Jackson in the backfield, just a freshman, averaging better than 5 yards a carry. And his MD Udo, we mentioned about this NC State recruits in the open. They swing it out to the right side and taking it inside the 35-yard line down to about the 32. The reception by Israel Rubin, who was a big play slot guy for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 5'7" out in the slot, but he's quick. That's where he's dangerous in the open field.
And a look at the starting defense for Rolesville, brought to you by NC Assist Loan. And on the defensive side for Rolesville, you look at Adewume on the defensive end. We'll be calling his name a lot. Darius Robinson, 86 tackles last year. And a 17 tackle game earlier in the regular season. On first down, little contact in the backfield and play halted, a loss of a couple of yards. Now on the defensive stop, Kamar Kyle, number 7.
We'll see Kyle come through here, one-on-one block. He beat the right tackle with an inside swim move, and then just getting back with quickness, nowhere to run the ball for the Bulldogs.
Loss of a couple. Second down. Jacob Knight, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Over 61% percentage rates, and he's flushed forward and cannot escape. And once again, the defensive stop by Kyle. A big opening possession defensively for him.
Jacob Knight is so dangerous getting outside of the pocket with his feet, but Rolesville keeping him inside, kind of swallowing him down. A couple guys getting back through there. Kyle got held, and then he cleaned it up, but that whole defensive line, really good job getting off the ball, Patrick.
Well, he has come out fired up. And once again, when you're putting a team together with a brand new staff, a first-year head coach, sometimes it takes a while to meld together, but so far you can't tell by the results. Undefeated. They screen it out to the left side. Saquon Smith, gang tackled inside the 40-yard line. A pickup of only a couple. And the defense of the red, black, and silver of the Rolesville Rams coming up and forcing a 4th and long for Terry Sanford.
The first thing you notice is the quickness, the speed of this defense, but look at the hustle and the way the whole defense swarms to the football. There's about 6 red hats around the ball, and that's what you want to see, is the defense flying around and gang tackling.
Something to keep in mind over the course of this game. Jacob Knight, the quarterback for Terry Sanford, is also their punter. This is 4th and 15 from the 39-yard line. And the dangerous Jay-Sean Patterson, number 3 for Rolesville, with his heels planted right on the 10-yard line, ready to return. So a couple of quick first downs, the drive sputters, and the punt by Knight. Fair catch, signaled for, and grabbed right around the 11-yard line. 28-yard punt with intent, and that's where the Rolesville offense will go on the field for the first time, led by Byron Brown, who was projected to be the JV quarterback this year for the Rams. But he has been installed after Noah Douglas, 3-year starting quarterback here for the Rolesville Rams, transferred to Wake Forest, a team that Rolesville will play in the next month. And now it's Byron Brown, it's his team, and the team is rallied around this sophomore quarterback. He's smart, makes all the throws, good decisions. He is athletic, can run, although that's something that Coach Martin Samick before the game said, we don't want to have him get happy feet. Trust his offensive line. And he will throw. He's flushed out quickly, now in trouble, makes a man miss, swings to the outside, and gets back to about the original line of scrimmage and what easily could have been maybe a 6 or 7 yard loss.
Well, for both these quarterbacks, Knight and Brown, they have the ability to get outside the pocket, but that ability is going to be evident tonight because these defensive lines very quick and aggressive.
All right, here's a look at the starting lineup for the Rolesville offense, brought to you by NC Assist Loan. Josh Pullen ran for about 1,000 yards a year ago, and Ethan Harris is their top target on the outside at wide receiver. And a loss of a couple of yards there for Pullen. And they will already put the Rams behind the chains. Here's a look at the Terry Sanford defense, brought to you by NC Assist Loan. And for Terry Sanford, we talked about Eli Robinson. We talked about Saquon Smith. And the top corner on this squad is Tyquan Hayes, number 2. He will be challenged tonight against the big, tall wide receiver. Here's a snap going to Brown, rolls to the left, feeds it to the sideline. Reception is made, close to the first down, depends on the mark. Right around the 20-yard line, and it's Cyrus Rogers.
Let's see Brown rolling out here, throwing accurately on the run. We'll see if he gets it. Depends on the spot, a couple yards short, but still a good effort getting Rogers out in the open space and allowing him to try to make a man miss.
So at least a little bit of room now for the Rolesville Rams punter. 4th down and 3. Fruitless offensive possession on both sides. More than 4 minutes have gone by. Evan Verstegen, the punter for the Rams. And a wobbler toward the left sideline and out of bounds. And this will net maybe 15 or 18 yards. So excellent field position coming up for Terry Sanford. Second possession for the Bulldogs when we come back. Scoreless early in the first. Back at the farm in Rolesville, Friday night rivals. Patrick Keenis, former ECU standout Jay Sonhalter. Aaron Summers is down on the sideline. No score, a little more than 4 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. The defense for the Bulldogs stood tough, forced a short punt, and as a result, a short field for the offense led by Jacob Knight. In motion, Rubin, left to right. Knight will throw, has a man open near the pylon of the end zone and knocked out of his hands. Incomplete. Yates Johnson, the big wideout, in what looked to be maybe blown zone coverage. It was fingered away, second down.
Single high safety. Knight looked over towards the left. He knew the matchup he wanted. Yates Johnson, 6'5", just not able to come down with it. And coming over late, Sir Ethan Harris, the safety, he was playing cover 1 back there. He had to go over towards the right. Then at the last minute had to shift over and try to knock that ball down.
That was a perfectly thrown ball by Knight and got through. 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Little misdirection, handoff for maybe a couple of yards. That'll bring up 3rd and about 8. Carry to Dorian Clark, who's just shy of 500 yards so far on this 2019 season.
And this is a challenge for this Rolesville defense, going against a great back like Clark. 129 yards rushing last week. He's a physical runner, tough, but he's got great feet too. One of the best backs they'll see all season. So they're going to have to make sure they try to slow down this running game to force passing situations.
Yeah, he's only 5'10", but he's a solid 190-plus shifty. 3rd and a long 8. Knight has a man, but overshoots Israel Rubin, who kind of loitered inside the 20-yard line. And again, we're seeing maybe some late coverage in the backside of that secondary as the penalty marker comes in. And it's going to be holding against Terry Sanford. And now a decision for the Rams. A decline would make it 4th down, and you're talking about maybe a 47-yard field goal if that's in the bag of the Bulldogs. And it will be declined. So an early choice for Bruce McClellan. Now in his 4th year as the head coach for Terry Sanford. Back-to-back double-digit win seasons. 11-2 a couple of years ago. 10-4 last year. They're off to a 3-1 start. Already 2-0 in conference play, but a respite here tonight. And he will go on 4th down and 9. Knight, time to throw. Flushed right. on the move. Here comes pressure, and he meets the defender. And once again, it's Kamar Kyle. Stood him up and ends the possession for the Bulldogs.
Kamar Kyle having his way so far in this game now. Downfield, the coverage was outstanding. This defensive line, it took them a minute to get there, but then once they had an opening, you see the speed taking over. But a lot of credit to the secondary staying on their man and not allowing Knight to find anyone.
Well, that was the best play of the sequence by the secondary for the Rolesville Rams. So they get it back on downs. Football spotted just outside of their own 30-yard line. So Byron Brown, the team is his under first-year head coach Martin Samick. A little jet sweep to the right side. Room around the corner. Cyrus Rogers. Not too close to the 40-yard line. Well blocked. Very patient run as Rolesville tries to widen the field offensively.
Look at this block by the right tackle. Jonathan Adorno, the NC State commit, held up just long enough to allow Rogers to get to the outside, use his speed, and then he really took the angle right here to get positive yards.
A gain of 11. Blue Cross Blue Shield first down. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. First down, they hand off this time going left. This is Jay Sean Patterson, makes the turn, up the sideline, untouched. There goes Jay Sean Patterson, 61 yards, and an early strike for their undefeated Rolesville Rams.
Well, when you have speed threats like Rolesville does, they've also got the power with Josh Pullen to run the ball up the middle. But you can get guys going out on the perimeter with the speed of Rogers, and then now here Patterson. Look at his quickness, his recognition, but just how he breaks angles and his speed takes over. He followed his blockers, and what a home run hitter he is for this offense. Two-play drive, and then you got a touchdown.
And the extra point, bang through. And the undefeated Rolesville Rams, never with a winning record in school history. The school opened in 2013, trying to get to 6-0. And Martin Samick before the game told us, this is a true litmus test for us. We got through the non-conference. We upended last year's team that ended our season as they got some revenge on Broughton last week, winning by 21 after Broughton knocked the Rams from what would have been a winning season last year, knocked them out in the first round of the playoffs, ended the year 6-6. But they are rolling, especially offensively, some big weapons.
And they have so much talent. They're well coached. But the thing that impresses me about them is they do it on defense. They do it on special teams. They have all the ingredients to have a long playoff run. But on the offensive end, they've got so many guys that you have to really make sure you know where they're at pre-snap and really keep a focus on them. But they've got young players that are getting better also as the season progresses.
And here's the kickoff toward the sideline, grabbed by one of the up men of the Bulldogs. Tight ropes to sideline and return to about the 40-yard line. And let's go down to Aaron Summers with a story on the player who delivered that kickoff for the Rams.
Rams kicker Rayanne Clayton is the first girl that head coach Martin Samick has ever coached, but he said that's not even a factor. She earned her way onto this team. She's worked really hard. She comes to practice and does just about everything that everybody else on the team does. Said that she got involved in football in middle school. Her dad actually taught her to kick a soccer ball with a football. She's also the goalie on the soccer team here at Rolesville. She's a great two-sport athlete. She said the best part of it all is when she can look across the other side of the field and tell the other team that they got beat by a girl.
That's a great story, Aaron. More on that in a moment. And Kamar Kyle is having another level type performance in this opening quarter. The 6'3" linebacker, who is a senior, has been absolutely unstoppable in the first couple of defensive series for the Rams.
He deserves a game ball already here in the first quarter, the way he's been playing. We've called his name 4 times. He's using his quickness and his length to get off the blocks.
Loss of 5. 2nd and 15. Flag down, reception made to the 39-yard line, and then 3 Rams snow down the receiver. We'll check the penalty.
Yeah, and Patrick, Kyle didn't make the tackle here, but he got held because he beat his man. They held him so there wouldn't be a sack.
So there's the call by our referee, Jeff Faulkner. 7-0 the lead for Rolesville. And let's take a look at our Saltwater Seafood scoring drive. Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack, fresh seafood daily. Only 41 seconds, 71 yards, 2 plays. 61-yard touchdown run by Ja'Shawn Patterson. Clock at 5:15 for this opening quarter. And this is a very long second down play. Ball spotted at about the 18-yard line. It is 2nd and 32 as we get a timeout taken by Terry Sanford. We'll see what Bruce McClellan has on 2nd and 32 in his playbook when we come back. It's a 7-0 first quarter lead for the undefeated Rams. Seven 0 Rolesville. Just past the midway mark of the opening quarter. Terry Sanford on offense. 2nd and 32, and a little misdirection handoff through the left side. Escaping one tackle, losing the football, but the officials are calling him down. Ball still laying on the turf. Down on contact after a pickup of about 5. And boy, this Rolesville Ram defense just possessed right now. They know how important this game is, not just for their season. It's taken a while to all come together. As we were talking with Martin Samick, first-year head coach, he still was learning some of his players' names a few weeks ago, but they now have all kind of circled the wagons. They're fighting for the same goal here, and it's showing now in their early play.
Well, it's a testament to his coaching ability, because usually, especially at the start of the season, with a new coach, you look at things and things aren't in sync. This team looks like they shut out the gate at a high level, and they're playing great tonight.
3rd and 29 up the middle as the Rams play soft, trying to deny the big play, and they do just that, and they will force a punt from Terry Sanford.
And this defense is giving no room for Terry Sanford to run. And if they get through that first wave, you see how quickly the linebackers fill their gap. And this is a defense that doesn't miss very many tackles. Very sure-handed in their tackling. They always seem to be at the right place at the right time.
Now back to return the kick. Ja'Shawn Patterson, who just ran it in from 61 yards out. Pressure up the middle. Knight gets it off. Patterson will grab it and call for the fair catch at the 40-yard line. 33-yard kick, no return, and very good field position. Best of the night for the Rams.
And this is an offense we've seen them run the ball already to start this game. We haven't seen Brown throw the ball down the field, so I'd expect on this drive to see a couple shots taken in the passing game.
So look at the Rolesville Rams on the sideline. Knocked out in the first round of the playoffs last year by Broughton. A team, though, that they beat last week by 20. They ran it for almost 400 yards, overcoming 21 penalties and over 200 penalty yards in that win. But Pullen was the featured back, 263 yards, 4 touchdowns. Looking to throw again, has a man streaking down the field and dropped by Ethan Harris. Incomplete.
And I love the play call by offensive coordinator Richard Shuping here, taking the shot. It was a post route. The safeties and the cornerbacks dipped in for the play fake. And this ball could have been a touchdown, just not able to connect.
Just led maybe a half yard too far. Great effort by Harris. 2nd and 10, right through the middle, breaking free. There goes Josh Pullen. His teammate Harrison went 61. Pullen goes 60. And it's 13-0 Rolesville.
And number 6, Josh Pullen runs it in for a Rolesville touchdown.
We saw the jet sweeps to the outside, but this is the power right up the middle. Hit you in the mouth up front, drive, and then the speed of Pullen. He's got college scholarships coming his way. A lot of interest, and you can see why. He's a thick, fast running back, but patient and reads his blocks well.
And the extra point, though, blocked away. No good. At Lane and Associates Family Dentistry touchdown. 60 yards between the tackles from Josh Pullen. And with 3:29 left in the opening quarter, it is a 14-0 lead for the Rams.
Just the way this offensive line is controlling things has been impressive. And the way Rolesville can protect in the passing game but do what they want with their running attack, that's going to bode well for them throughout this game with the way their defense is playing as well. Terry Sanford is going to have to do something here on offense. I think the #1 key is they're going to have to protect at a higher level and try to slow down Kyle.
Well, we were talking with Coach Samick of Rolesville before the game, and he was awfully concerned about the size, the athleticism, and kind of a next level squad with Terry Sanford. He was wondering how the team might come out tonight. Well, it's come out on fire here in the first opening quarter.
It was a big test, and both these coaches were really excited to see how their teams were going to respond, and both sides have college players that we'll see in the future, so a lot of talent out on the field tonight.
14-0 lead, 3:29 left opening quarter. There's a look at Rayanne Clayton for Lane & Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. We love to make you smile. The kick is short again with intent, zigzagging through the middle of the field, turning it up around the 35 and then nowhere to go. 14-0 Rolesville on top. Decent field position here for the Bulldogs as we take a look at the scoring summary. Brought to you by Saltwater Seafood. Saltwater Seafood Market and Price Shack, fresh seafood daily. Again, another quick scoring drive. We saw 2 plays in 71 yards in 42 seconds. About 2 plays, 60 yards in 15. A lot of speed. It's a big play so far by the Rams.
And the offensive line, just the way they can clear out their man, makes it so easy if you're running back just to read your block and then take off.
Now for Terry Sanford and first-year quarterback Jacob Knight, just sustaining a drive. That's what they need. A pass to flat. Rubin makes the grab. Submarines over the 40 to about the 42. A gain of 6.
This Terry Sanford team, they had a big win against Cape Fear last week, coming from behind. So this is a team, even though they're on the road here, a lot of talent. They just need to calm down, and they really do need a drive here to calm down their defense, give them some time to rest over there. But also, this is a passing team that has high success throwing the ball. They need to get in rhythm.
Now with Jacob Knight, when he talked with Bruce McClellan about Knight and his skills and his style out there, they say he's a gambler. He can roll the dice. Well, when you're down 14 points right here, you better roll 7s if you're going to take any risks. Second and shorts. And a handoff left side, escaping 1 tackle, and out to about the 45-yard line is Dre Jackson, just a freshman, who's kind of burst on the scene over the last couple of weeks for the Bulldogs.
Look at the little move he makes here. Now, he did get tackled, but a nice jump cut to the inside. Then the ankle tackle brought him down. But I like the play call, getting the speed out on the perimeter. Right now, the defensive line, that interior, is loading things up. They need to get the ball outside.
Rubin in motion and jumping on the left side of the defensive line, and contact is made. Darius Robinson. Encroachment, and that's enough for a first down.
This is a great job by Jacob Knight with the hard count. Again, this is a team that had 21 penalties last week. You have to know, kind of scout your opponent and know, hey, we may be able to get away with something here. We'll see the offsides right there for an easy first down.
All right, out close to midfield, first down from the 49. Terry Sanford trailing by 2 early scores. Inside 2 minutes in this opening quarter. Play fake Knight, scrambling now, up ahead, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Just when he thinks he has time to throw, suddenly the edges of the pocket begin to collapse, and he's forced really to try and squeeze forward if he can.
Initially, he had protection here, but this goes to the secondary. We'll see here. He had time, but then he kind of felt the edges caving in, tried to jump up. He needed to stay in the pocket, though, and kind of scan the field because he did have time.
Tell you what, Kevin Freitas, number 71 for the Bulldogs, is having a devil of a time trying to deny Kamar Kyle. What a fistful of number 7 most of that play. He's been whistled a couple of times already. Not that time. Loss of 1. Second and 11. Knight gives up on the protection early. Runs to his right and is dragged down for a loss. James Collin, the senior linebacker, chased him down. 3rd and 12.
And Jacob Knight is fast. He's elusive. But look at the team speed for Rolesville. We'll see him track him down here. There's not a lot of linebackers that can catch Knight. But Cohen, a good job recognizing him get out of the pocket and then attacking.
I mean, we have seen a 2nd and 29. Now we see a 3rd down and about 13 here for Terry Sanford as we move inside the final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Tough spot for the first-year quarterback. Pressure coming, eluded though by Knight. And it throws down the right side. It's a jump ball. Oh, it got through. But Yates Johnson couldn't bring it in. And I think Johnson was surprised that ball wasn't tipped away. Excellent work by Jacob Knight to keep that play alive. But a penalty marker is down, and it's roughing the passer on Rolesville. And that will be an automatic first down.
A critical mistake. I'll tell you what, though, Jacob Knight, he's having to run for his life so far here tonight. Again, getting out of the pocket. We'll see. This is Kyle. The shot up towards the head. Good call. But when you're on an offense, Patrick, you always look to find a mismatch. And right now, Knight doesn't have a lot of time to throw. But Yates Johnson is that mismatch out on the outside with his height.
And a timeout is taken by Rolesville head coach Martin Samick. Let's go downstairs to Aaron.
The Bulldogs had to replace 4 players on the offensive line this season, so they have a lot of youth up front. It's forced the Terry Sanford coaching staff to change their offensive scheme. They're usually a run-heavy team, really trying to pound the rock, but with the offensive line, they're really trying to allow the quarterback to move more, to allow Knight to use his arm. We've seen it in effect already tonight.
Well, as Bruce McClellan told us before the game, he said they're not as big as they have been in years past. He said there's a gap in terms of talent and adapting to the system from the juniors to the freshmen. He said we're now playing a lot more freshmen regularly than we anticipated when the year began. He said they haven't made a lot of major mistakes, just some small ones, but they've grown here in the first month.
Yeah, and they are getting better. And like you said, it's a team with a lot of seniors or freshmen and sophomores. So you either got experience or new guys. And especially on the offensive line, a lot of young players up there. And I think for them, though, another thing they need to try to do is keep the tight end, Izemi Udo, in to help block and really secure that edge, max protect, to give time for Knight to throw the ball down the field.
The personal foul gets the Bulldogs out of a 3rd and long jail. And down by 2 scores, they need to capitalize here. Reversing field. Here goes Dorian Clark. Swings outside the numbers, down the right sideline, dives to the pylon, and he's a little bit short. He'll be marked down at about the 1-yard line. That's 37 for Dorian Clark.
I love the cut back here by Clark, going towards the left, then bringing it all the way back, the vision. And here trying to get in the end zone just a little bit short. But that's the spark this offense needed.
Inside the Wake County 86 at green zone. Help keep Wake County litter free. 86 your trash. 37 for Clark. 11 seconds left, first quarter. Tight formation. Handoff, left side, into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Dorian Clark set up the score. Dorian Clark takes it in. And the Bulldogs capitalize on a major personal foul on 3rd and long. And 2 plays later in to make it a 1-score game.
And what a response by Terry Sanford. You know, they're down 14-0. You kind of wondered how they were going to react on this drive. They had a couple penalties called against Rolesville that helped them out. But the resiliency to run the ball, fight up front when you've been having some troubles, and then punch that in on 2 back-to-back running plays. Really impressive.
And here's Bailey Morrison for the extra point and drives it straight through. 7 seconds left, opening quarter. There's the reply the Bulldogs needed. 14-7, although a penalty marker was down on that extra point. And we will await Jeff Faulkner's call. Extra point counts. 14-7. And there we see the single personal foul going against Rolesville. So another big penalty. This will be assessed on the kickoff. Well, we talked about Rolesville and its major penalty history earlier this season. Over 200 penalty yards just last week. Over 150 a couple of games prior. It has been an Achilles heel for Martin Samick. I know he doesn't mind the aggressiveness. Yep. It needs to be controlled and smart.
And it's something that you have to improve on and keep an eye on, because when you get in the playoffs, when you play against tougher teams, those penalties are going to narrow the gap down. And Rolesville, they're going to have a lot more talent than a lot of teams on their schedule. But the penalties could play a huge factor in these upcoming games.
Patterson and Ingraham are back to return, and now they mark off the major 15-yard infraction on the extra points. And the kick is going to come from the plus 45-yard line. It won't take a lot here from Morrison to force the touchback. You certainly want to try and keep it out of the hands of Patterson.
Well, in this situation, it's almost an area, maybe do an onside kick and see if you can get it. If you don't get it, it's still not going to be good field position for the Rams.
And not a bad idea, Jay. We'll see if they're thinking along your terms. Bruce McClellan, will he pull something out of his hat? Yes, he does. Does it go the 10 yards? It's a live ball now, and it's recovered by Terry Sanford. Inbounds, and coming out of there, the Bulldogs have just turned this game on its ear. Jovan Blackman got to the sideline, took the high hop just after it went 10 yards, Jay.
We'll see, they just waited for it to go 10. There was about 8, and then picked it up right there and touched it, and then picked it up the ground. And what a play call, and what a huge momentum shift for Terry Sanford.
Oh, he may not want to give that football up. That might be under the pillow tonight. James Cowan for the Rams, though, is on the sideline waiting for that hop, but he went higher than he expected and jumped over his right shoulder.
And great patience, because so many times you get down there near the 10-yard marker and you feel like, okay, now I need to jump on it, but he waited for it to go 10. Rolesville didn't jump and attack it. They were waiting as well. Now, they could have gone and gotten it. They just waited, and the Bulldogs took advantage of it.
3.9 left, and now a discussion on that sideline between Jeff Faulkner and a couple of the Rolesville coaches. I think there might have been maybe a plea in vain by the Rams that maybe that ball was touched before it got to 10 yards. Certainly didn't look like that was the case. But what a call. And what a call by Bruce McClellan. What a call by Jay Sonholt. Great anticipation. And again, you flash back, why was this possible? The penalty, personal foul on the extra points.
And that's a great point. Those penalties, this is what happens. That wouldn't have been possible if that penalty wasn't there, because Terry Sanford wouldn't have kicked the onside kick. So you never know when a small mistake can turn into a big factor in the ball game. And Terry Sanford really taking advantage of the opportunity.
All right, here's the Saltwater Seafood scoring drive for Terry Sanford. Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack, fresh seafood daily. It was all put together by Clark. The big carry to take it to the 1-yard line, and the finalizer on the 1-yard dive. 14-7 Rolesville. But this one has pivoted quickly for the Bulldogs, who again are playing every single game this year on the road. Their stadium that was originally constructed back in 1971 has been deconstructed. They're in the process of the rebuild. They'll be back at home next year. They're playing their home games at Reed Ross Classical High School, about 5 miles away. But it has disrupted the schedule for the Bulldogs all year long. But breaking through the middle down to about the 31-yard line, a pickup of 3. And this game has turned. We're at the end of one. A couple of early big plays on the ground by the Rams. But the Bulldogs have capitalized off of some Rolesville mistakes, which led to this recovery of an onside kick. And Terry Sanford, as we head to the second, marching for the tying score, down 14-7. Back at the farm on Friday night rivals here in Rolesville. 14-7 Rams leading the Bulldogs. 2 major penalties against the Rams breathe new life in the Bulldogs. Second quarter begins on a 2nd and 7. And a run off the left side down to about the 25-yard line. And again, that's Dorian Clark. But Jay, let's go back to what has suddenly given renewed hope and faith to the Bulldogs. On a 3rd and 13, a roughing the passer that then led to the first touchdown by Terry Sanford. And then on the extra point of that drive, the personal foul, which then allowed the Bulldogs to take a shot. It's a controlled gamble. An onside kick they recovered, and here they are with a chance to tie. It's Clark again breaking through and kind of trips his way down to about the 20-yard line. But a penalty marker down. This will be an infraction against the Bulldogs and push them back, and it'll be about a 3rd and 6.
Patrick, I love the play calling, though. We saw it on the last drive at the end, and here, the first couple plays, Terry Sanford, we'll see the penalty, the false start right on the right side, but I like how they're going back to the running game. Their best player on offense, Dorian Clark, they're feeding him the football and trying to slow down this pass rush that's caused problems here in the first quarter. So I like their philosophical change that they've made here and their adjustments in game.
Yates Johnson Their top target, 6'5" wide receiver at the bottom of the screen. John Birch at only 5'11" as the man-to-man assignment here on what will be 3rd and 6. Knight gives it off through the middle, protecting the football. Dorian Clark with enough for a first down to about the 15. Pickup of 15, and let's go downstairs to Aaron. Aaron?
Patrick, you mentioned that ball from the onside kick might end up under someone's pillow. Well, actually, during the quarter break, that ball did disappear. The refs were looking for it everywhere. They were checking the sideline. Nobody wanted to claim it, so they had to bring out a new game ball.
Who did they invoice for that, Jay?
Yeah, so somebody's going to get some type of penalty for that. Yeah.
Well,
some type of charge.
Bulldogs back inside the Wake County 86 green zone. Help keep Wake County litter free and 86er trash. 1st and 10 from the 15. Clock stopped. And a timeout taken by the Bulldogs. So Bruce McClellan, who has punched the right buttons here over the last 3 or 4 minutes of this game. You know, he talked to us before the game. He was concerned about his kids being on TV tonight. It was interesting. You know, they've had to deal with so much adversity, being away from home, practicing on their own field, in their own locker rooms, but playing home games a couple of miles away. It's been a very unusual season, but he was worried about playing on TV for his kids on how they would handle this stage when they've handled so much more, so much better.
Well, there's an excitement factor. I mean, just think about when you're in high school, the ability to come out and play on a Friday night on TV, all your friends can watch it, and it's a big marquee game, a huge test. Now, this is a long trip up from Fayetteville too, so they've got enough on their plate just with the opponent, but the bright lights shining, Friday night rivals here, you know, it's a different atmosphere for them, and I'm really pleased to see how they've responded, though. And this is a 3-1 team with talent, good coaching, but you never know how you're going to respond on the road. They're down 14-0. Not a lot of things going their way, and now they're on a drive here potentially to tie up this ball game. So they've shown some toughness to come back.
It's been a different atmosphere for them tonight, and a different quarterback with Jacob Knight now running the controls for the Bulldogs, but he's under some nice tutelage, a former teammate of yours, Patrick Pinckney, former quarterback for the East Carolina Pirates. He's kind of the quarterback guru on this Bulldog team.
And he's very proud of Jacob Knight and how he's performed this season, how he's really improved throughout his development.
This is Clark going to first down carry, and Clark will take it for about 4, maybe 5.
And see now when they give the ball to Clark, we saw the first quarter, them coming out wanting to throw the ball. They're going to have the ability to use the play action. And this is a nice block by the fullback, Devers, number 23, clearing out the path. But again, they're going to have the ability with the play fake if they choose to go over the top, because these linebackers are starting to suck up in the run game.
Clark again cuts it back and throwing back after maybe a gain of a yard. What the establishment of the offensive line and the running game has done, it has begun to negate Kamar Kyle from this game. I mean, when the Bulldogs were looking to throw, Kyle was everywhere in the backfield and chasing down the quarterback Jacob Knight. Now that they're having success running the football, it kind of factors Kyle out.
Well, and the run game is going to always neutralize the pass rush. But as a high school offensive lineman, it's always easier to run block than pass protect. So they're going back to their bread and butter here in the ground attack.
3rd and 3. Clark again. Met in the backfield, driving forward, and he's close to a first down, and he may have it. He was initially met in the backfield a couple of yards deep by Jonathan Sarvia, but the legs just kept on churning, had momentum going downhill, and it will be enough for a first down.
Well, let's see the push up front. Good leverage by the offensive line, and this is just a one-on-one battle, and Clark able to move his legs. But we've talked about Terry Sanford responding. How about this Rolesville defense? So impressive to start off this ball game. They need to get more push and get lower up front here on this drive.
Jamie Farley lost containment, driving to the end zone. Ball comes loose, but the arms are up. Touchdown, Terry Sanford. And it's Jacob Knight on the keeper. And with 8:54 to play in the first half, 14-13 Rolesville. Lane Associates Family Dentistry touchdown. The keeper there on the sneak, and a little push from the backside by Jackson Deaver, just in case Jacob Knight needed a little assistance. And what a recovery for Terry Sanford. Morrison for the extra point, and we're tied. 14-14. Late in the first quarter, the Bulldogs trailed by 2 scores. And now only about 4 minutes later of game time, the Bulldogs have drawn even on this Jacob Knight 3-yard touchdown score. 14-all from Rolesville. Two Terry Sanford touchdowns in the span of 3 minutes and 13 seconds, capitalizing on a couple of major penalty mistakes by the Rolesville Rams. 14-14. Patrick Enos, Jay Sohnhalter up here in the booth. Aaron Summers down on the sideline. All right, for the Rolesville Rams, Jay, we saw great energy, smart football through the first 6 or 7 minutes of that opening quarter. Things have broken down a bit. How do they get momentum back?
Well, this is an offense that's been on the sideline for a while now, so I think they need to go back to the ground attack. I think they need to look over and see what Terry Sanford did with them running the ball and match that with their running game. They've got 3 running backs I've been very impressed with so far in this ball game. I think they need to continue to feed them.
Lane and Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. We love to make you smile. Takes a hop, live ball, picked up outside the 20, and then down the right sideline across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. 14-14 thanks to a second straight Bulldog touchdown. So Dorian Clark taking in from a yard out. He set this one up. And it was the quarterback, Jacob Knight, taking it in from 3 yards out. Our Saltwater Seafood scoring drive, 7 plays, 34 yards, all on the heels of that recovered onside kick. Drive begins for the Rams at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Rolling out is Brown, tosses to the sideline, cradled in by Cyrus Rogers, but not a lot there on the fringes to just past the 35-yard line. Gain of a couple.
And this was a broken play. Brown looked like there was a miscommunication in the backfield, and he rolled out, but good job by him keeping his eyes up. We'll see here as he gets his ball. The running back pulling went the wrong way, miscommunication. Then he just kept extending the play to flip the ball out.
Pullen gets the fake. Holding is Brown. Shoots to the right. Sprints to midfield. Slides feet first at about the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 19. Excellent play fake on the fake to Pullen of the pistol formation.
And Brown, again, this is only a sophomore. Look at the zone read. Saw the end collapse. And then with the move to get to the outside, really good speed. He rushed for 63 yards last week against Broughton, threw for 200. So this is a young, dual threat quarterback.
Martin Samick said, even though the fact that Brown is again a relatively inexperienced quarterback for the Rams, they have all really rallied around his leadership. Drops back, steps up, sends one to the sideline, has it out, inside the 20-yard line by Rogers. Lost his footing, goes down to the 15.
And Brown, recognizing he had zone coverage, knew exactly where he wanted to go with the ball. And he just kind of laid this ball up, throwing it over the top, in between the coverage, allowing Rogers to come down and get it.
Back inside the Wake County 86 at green zone. 1st down from the 15, fighting through and almost escaping an ankle tackle. And that's Pullen for about 6.
This is a heck of a right side of this offensive line with Adorno and Kadeem Willis. He's getting college recruiting interest as well. 76 and 55. They pulled on that last play, cleared a path. Those guys up front really dominating, doing a good job to help out the running backs.
Look at the sideline by Byron Brown, who does have some flexibility with this offense and has the trust of his head coach, Martin Samick. And we get motion by the right tackle of the Rams. And there is Jonathan Adorno. One of the best offensive linemen that Coach Samick has seen in the state. And again, he's relatively new to coaching here in the Triangle. Didn't watch a lot of the eastern half of North Carolina high school football, but I tell you what, they play a lot of great football out in the Charlotte and the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area. 2nd and 9 for the 14. And Brown again, patient. No play clocks down to the field. It's actually counted down by the referee, and he'll start signaling like a basketball referee once it gets under 10 seconds. Faking an option, broken play, and this one's going nowhere. A wise decision by Brown not to force that pitch to Pullen. because he was well marked.
And so many times you want to make, a special play, but the best plays sometimes are just playing smart, holding on to the ball. Now a little bit loose there with his right arm, but he got down to the ground. That's the most important thing, protecting the football.
And now 3rd and 11 from the 16-yard line. Well inside both field goal kickers' range at this spot of the field. Midway through the second quarter, Brown to the right side, corner of the end zone, hangs it over the shoulder, incomplete. Harris came down with it. There may have been a juggle or past the sideline. Well thrown ball again by Byron Brown, but it's 4th down.
This is a beautiful play, even though upset down on the field, the Rams are. Look at this throw, the protection. He got hit as he threw it, putting the ball in the corner of the end zone, only where Harris could get it.
Hit that pylon. On the way down, he had control. But it's 4th down, and both kickers for the Rams stay on the sideline. It would be a 33-yarder for the lead, but they will go. Line to reach is the 5. 4th down, across the middle, led him too far. Penalty marker comes in. It's going to be interference on Terry Sanford. Holding Christian Best, the intended receiver, on that deep slant.
I love the matchup here on the slant going to Best. 6'4" wide receiver. Look at the length up front. Plenty of time to throw the ball. Now it's too far out in front, but there's the hold. Obvious, easy call. This drive's going to extend.
That's the first target of Christian Best all night long, and it comes on a key 4th down attempt. 1st down and goal now for the Rams.
The thing I like is Brown recognizing who to go to pre-snap, seeing where he has an advantage, then looking towards the opposite side of the field to hold the safety back, and then going to his guy. Now these penalties, we see the impact they're making as far as extending drives and giving these teams extra opportunities.
And now the Rams will spread out the offense. Best and Rodgers to the bottom of your screen. 1st down, they will throw back of the end zone, too high, looking for Best again. Well, take it back. That was a 4th down play right there. So with the defensive hold, it was not an automatic 1st down. It went to 4th and 4, and it goes incomplete, and they will turn it over on downs.
Well, they tried to go back to Best again with his height advantage. Sometimes when you have a big wide receiver, you kind of feel like you can throw it anywhere because he's so big. That one just a little bit too high. Come down with it.
All right, tonight's game powered by United Reynolds, building futures together. There are a lot of fans in attendance here tonight at the Farm. We're looking back at the press box saying they thought it was an automatic 1st down as well, but an incomplete pass on 4th down, and the Bulldogs now will take over. Sprinting to their rights, that's Jacob Knight. Tries to get himself a little bit of room. He's beyond the 10, marked out around the 14. Knight picks up 6.
Well, Knight, we'll see him get around the edge. Now early on in the ball game, Cohen tracked him down. This time he didn't. He had the speed, but also the angle, just broke it off enough. Now 2nd and very manageable here. We've seen a steady diet of Dorian Clark. See if they go back to the ground game with number 21.
With their big receiver, Yates Johnson, bottom of the screen, penalty marker is dropped. This will be offsides on Rolesville, and that will give Terry Sanford a fresh set of downs.
And Knight, for the 2nd time, using the hard count and seeing if he can get the Rams to bite, and they did.
(14-14). Terry Sanford has not led. They scored touchdowns on their last 2 of their last 3 possessions. First down from the 20. Ludo slightly in motion. Hand off left side. Clark still churning forward. Tough to bring down. Pickup of 3.
And this is the type of game the Terry Sanford offensive coaches want. A physical game where they can control the line of scrimmage. Now earlier on in that first quarter, they weren't winning that battle. Now they are. There's good push up front. They're slowing the ball game down, wearing out this Rolesville defense, and really attacking and just running the ball downhill.
And now really slowing down the pace of the game. Maybe trying to shrink this final 5 minutes of this first half. A sustained drive might mean this could be the last possession of the half as we get another penalty marker coming in, and it is delay on Terry Sanford. Again, Terry Sanford is playing every game away from their home stadium. And then here on the road, they're probably looking around like I was before the game. Where's the 25-second clock? Well, there isn't one down in the field, so that's another little wrinkle for Jacob Knight and the Bulldogs to deal with. 2nd and 11. Back outside the 20-yard line. Handoff, little contact in the backfield, and surging forward to about the 24 is Israel Rubin. It'll bring up 3rd down and moderates.
And say on 3rd down, what's the play call going to be here? You're going to throw the ball. Usually this is a passing situation. What we saw in the past couple drives, 3rd and medium, they'll go back to the running game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they still hand this ball off to Clark. And he's actually not in the ball game right now, open set. So I'd expect to see Knight get out here on the run, get outside the pocket and try to make something happen with his legs.
It's the freshman back, Dre Jackson, and he will get the call. Jackson will not get enough to the 27, 3 yards short, and that will bring up 4th down. A reminder, stay tuned for the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics halftime report. We'll have this week's Riddle and Brantley Scholar athletes, participating school interviews with the principals, and highlights from all around the country. That is 3.5 minutes away. 4th down for Terry Sanford, 14-14. And again, I remind you, their starting quarterback, Jacob Knight, is also their punter, but this would be maybe too big of a gamble here late in the first half. Thinking fake on 4th and short, deep in your own territory. Deshaun Patterson will not have a chance to return this one. Lands inside the 40, takes a Bulldog bounce, and marked out at the 26. 49-yard kick, 3:05 to play, first half. Rolesville back on offense, looking to take the lead as we approach intermission. Late stages first half, 14-14, Rolesville and Terry Sanford. A reminder, during the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we will be selecting the Saltwater Seafood Catch of the Game. Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack. Come see us and check out our Catch of the Day. Drive begins for the Rams, 33-yard line. 3:05 left, opening half. Little jet sweep to the wide side. Patterson losing ground, stays on his feet. And to the 25-yard line, a loss of 8 on 1st down. Downstairs to Aaron.
Rams quarterback Byron Brown has really grown over the spring and the summer. They didn't know that they were going to need him in this position to be the starting varsity quarterback until this past spring, but he's shown the good ability to run, adapt in the game. Coach Samick said Brown's very intelligent. That's pretty much his best asset. And even as a sophomore, he's grown into a great leadership role.
And Brown looks off the right side, throws deep down the left into traffic and tipped away by the Bulldogs into double coverage. And that will bring up 3rd down and about 18. Tipped away by Tyquan Hayes, who is an excellent two-way player for the Bulldogs.
The coverage coming over very quickly, and they read it right out of the hand of Brown. Now Brown, whenever you have a big wide receiver like Bess, you want to throw the ball to him, but you have to recognize where that safety is, thrown in harm's way in that last play.
Line to reach is the 43, 3rd and 18. You want to make sure you make a smart decision here. Escaping is Brown, lot of green, angles hard to the sideline, cuts it back, stretches to the sticks, and it looks like he has the 1st down. Martin Samick said, we don't want to let him know that we believe in his running ability. But a wise decision here, and you see the great athleticism and vision of Brown. Needed 18, it's 18 and a half.
I love everything about this play. First of all, recognizing he had to get out of the pocket. Then when he was running, he kept his eyes downfield to try to find a wide receiver. Then when he decided to go, he ran like a deer and picked it up.
Inside handoff for a couple of yards after that NC oral surgery and orthodontics first down. Inside 2 minutes to play. First half, 14-14. It's a game that has seen big plays, major penalties, and a lot of capitalization on both sides after those mistakes.
And there's been a shift in momentum from Rolesville initially over to the Bulldogs. It's been a great ball game, and really, when you look out on the field, you can see these are two teams, Patrick, that are going to have a successful year but go deep into the playoffs.
2nd and 8, inside a minute and a half. Swings it out, high pass. Rogers gets a block inside the 50, cuts it back, scored near 35, escapes again, and inside the 30-yard line to the 26. 24 yards, a minute 17 on the clock, and Cyrus Rogers, another big play, getting the ball in his hands, and watch him run and juke after the catch.
And Patterson, outstanding block on the outside, and then the one-on-one moves. You know, when you're out in an open field situation, it's either you or the tackler. Rogers showing good feet, the ability to break through tackles, and a big play for this offense.
To the 25-yard line, Brown tosses right side of the end zone. Leaping catch is there. Touchdown, Rolesville. Jay-Sean Patterson. From 25 yards out, a perfectly finessed pass by Byron Brown. And Jay-Sean Patterson with his second large offensive play of the half.
And Rolesville has the quarterback. This throw, that's a perfect accuracy, perfect touch, timing, everything. Brown, we see him run the ball on this drive, then you see his accuracy. You know, this is a player, again, as a sophomore, he's got all the tools, but Coach Samick said he's a natural leader. You can see his leadership ability, his talent start to take over.
And Lane and Associates Family Dentistry touchdown, a 25-yard reception by Patterson from Brown. And with 58 seconds left in the first half, Rolesville back on top, 21-14. A reminder, stay tuned. The North Carolina Oral Surgery and Orthodontics halftime report is on the way. This week's Riddle and Brantley Scholar athletes participating in school interviews with the principals of both schools and highlights from high school action all across the country. That's on the way. And what a terrific, evenly played matchup tonight. 21-14 in Rolesville with 58 seconds left in the half.
Well, these teams throwing punches at each other, but it's also good to see just the level of competition. It's bringing out the best in both these teams. They really haven't been tested like they are tonight throughout this season. So I think this is a game where both these teams are going to look back on this and say, hey, we got better from tonight's ball game because of the competition.
And again for Rolesville, this is their final tune-up before they get into next 6 play. This is returnable from the 20-yard line. Nowhere to go. Beautiful special teams tackle by Jalen Butts. 53 seconds to go in the first half. And 75 yards away are the Bulldogs.
Starting off here with the tackle on special teams, a good start to end this quarter for Rolesville, but this is a big drive for this defense. It kind of been pushed back on the previous couple drives. Now an opportunity here to close out the half, get a stop, and go into halftime with some momentum.
6 plays, 67 yards, 2-0 is 7. Brown leads the way, hooks up with Patterson for the final 25 yards. The Saltwater Seafood scoring drive. 21-14, Rolesville on top. And now we'll see how conservative or how liberal Bruce McClellan and the Bulldogs will be. Hand off left side, room here across the 35 to about the 39-yard line, a pickup of 14. That will stop the clock. Israel Rubin for 14. And they will quickly reset the change. Clock now begins to wind as we tick down toward 40 seconds. Knights. Design roll to the right, tosses into the flat, in and out of the hands of Trey Jackson, the freshman, on the wheel route. stops the clock, 34 seconds left.
So Terry Sanford, I like how they're moving the ball here quick, not taking the big shot. Still plenty of time with the timeouts, but at some point on this drive, I think you got to look to find Yates Johnson, number 7. He's your biggest wide receiver, a talented guy. He's been targeted twice so far in this game, but he's going to have the height advantage on John Birch, number 1, 6'5" versus 5'11". So I think they need to target that here at some point on the next couple plays.
Yeah, now they play him in the slot. O.C. Ford is now getting the assignment here. They go opposite to the sideline, and that is caught. And the clock will stop with 29 seconds left in the first half. Trey Jackson on the reception, but only for about 2.
Number 4 brings up 3rd down. 7.
They rewind the clock now, 20 seconds to play. 21-14, Rolesville leading. And now stopping the clock, Jeff Faulkner. Yeah, a little confusion here by the officials. They will all come together toward the football. Clock shows 15.3. Look at the Rolesville sideline. Martin Samick is saying, wind that clock, wind that clock. And I think, well, are they going to add time to the clock or not here? And they will put on about 11 seconds on the clock. So 26 seconds up from 15. And again, when the catch was made, it looked like the official said he was out of bounds, but the clock continued to wind. So 26 seconds left, clock stops. 3rd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Down by a score. Knight under pressure. Dumps it off. Room here. 1st down yardage and more. And pinballing off a couple of his shoulders. Dorian Clark down to the 45. 17.9. Clock stops momentarily as they move the chains.
Great job throwing the ball underneath, and then Clark being physical now. Still time here to throw another one underneath and take a shot.
And spike of the football, Jacob Knight, 14.1. 2nd down. 21-14 Rolesville. To get into realistic field goal territory, you probably need another 25 yards, if not a little bit more here, Jay.
And I think in this situation, really the 2 guys I'd go to is number 7, Yates Johnson, or throw the ball underneath again to Clark and maybe throw it to him about 5 or 6 yards down the field and then hope that he can break some tackles and make something happen.
They stack 2 receivers left and right. Time for Knight on 2nd down, over the middle, too high, intercepted by Rolesville, and the drive snuffed out. Sir Ethan Daniel on the pick for the Rams. And Rolesville will head to halftime in front.
Knight, he's going to try to take a shot. It was a post route, and 2 of his wide receivers kind of stopped in the middle of the field, the ball overthrown. And Sir Ethan coming through with the big play for the defense.
First turnover of the game. 21-14 Rolesville. 6 seconds to play in the first half. Byron Brown reshifting, and they will bring the formation tights. And Brown is going to take a knee. And this very partisan Rolesville Ram crowd to their feet as the final couple of seconds of the first half ticks off. The Rolesville Rams, high school open in 2013, have never had a winning season. They are undefeated, 5-0, and a step up in class tonight as they take on Terry Sanford. Head to halftime, up 21-14.
And both teams, they've had their moments in the first half. I think here in the second half, who's going to win the line of scrimmage is going to be a big key to watch for and who wins this game.
All right, Aaron Summers has Martin Samick. Aaron.
Coach, you said you needed to establish the come on the ground. What is your offensive line doing in order to open up those running lanes?
I think they're doing a good job on staying on their blocks. And what we're doing is, with the early success of the run, they're kind of going into different coverages, and we're kind of exploiting them through the air now. So that early on success is starting to pay off for us.
Defensively, we just saw the first turnover. How big was that to stop Terry Sanford?
Anytime you can have a change of momentum or shift of momentum, it's never a bad thing.
Thanks, Coach.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Patrick.
All right, first-year head coach Martin Samick turning the program around. Up a touchdown on Terry Sanford at halftime. NC Oral Surgeon Orthodontics halftime report begins next from the farm. Rolesville up 21-14.
You're watching the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics Halftime Report. And now it's time for the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week. Presenting the award for Riddle and Brantley is Adam Smith. From Terry Sanford High School, Jackson Deaver. Terry Sanford's Jackson Deaver is a 4-year varsity letter athlete for both the football and baseball teams, a 2-time Powerade State Games baseball player, and carries a 4.0 GPA. Jackson is a member of the Global Studies program at his school, and he is a regular volunteer within his community. From Rolesville High School, Jade Houston. Jade Houston of Rolesville is a 3-year Most Outstanding Tennis Player recipient, a 2-year Most Outstanding Female Runner recipient, and carries a 4.25 GPA. Jade gives back to her community by volunteering with the Miracle League, the Ebony Racquet Club, and the Special Olympics. Jackson, Jade, and other nominated All-Stars are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident? Call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. Rolesville with a 21-14 lead here at Rolesville High School. At halftime, I'm joined by Terry Sanford Principal Thomas Hatch. We've heard about the road warrior mentality that the team has had to live by this season. How are the stadium renovations going?
Slow. It was fast to start with. It took about 9 days to take down a huge stadium, and it's probably going to take about 9 or 10 months to build it back, but they're slowly coming along with it. They've got the footers poured, and so there's some small movements going on out there on a daily basis with the surveyors and cement trucks coming in and such, but we're excited to see it take shape over the next several months.
When those months do wrap up, how about having a Friday Night Rivals game over there?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to showcasing how it's going to look and the new bleachers and everything that's going to come with it. So we're excited to have our home games at home this coming school year.
With the seniors not being able to play at home, how are you going to make it special for them on senior night this year?
So one of the big things we're going to do is play our last game of the season. We'll be at Fayetteville State. They've been gracious enough to allow us to play there that Friday night against Palm Forest, another crosstown rival. Jumbotron, so we'll actually be able to put our kids' faces up there with their parents as they're walking out on the field and being recognized for their senior night. Artificial turf. So it's going to be exciting to play in a college atmosphere for them.
That'll be a great experience for those seniors. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back with the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics Halftime Report after this. Back to the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics Halftime Report. I'm joined by Rolesville Principal Deidre Lassiter. So much school spirit. We see the students decked out in their neon tonight, the band's on the field. Where does this Rolesville pride come from?
Doesn't the spirit feels wonderful tonight, doesn't it? I think it's really a manifestation of the fact that they're really beginning to believe in themselves and work together. So it's not just the team on the field or the band on the field, but the entire school has come together as a team.
Speaking of the athletics here, how do they embody the bigger picture that you want to achieve for the school?
I am so glad you asked that. So, this is my 4th year of being the principal, and every year we have a theme, and we're a very young school, so I believe that building on those themes will help build us in our school community. One year it's Believe, the next year Inspire, the next Inspire, and this year it's Think Bigger. I actually got that theme from a conversation I had with our athletic director, Tom Kinklar, over the summer, and we were just talking about wanting our kids to believe for bigger things. Think bigger. Don't stay inside of a box, but what can be outside that box and to achieve? And so I said, Tom, there's our theme for the year, Think Bigger. So I see them thinking bigger. I see them thinking bigger. I see it everywhere, and it just makes me incredibly happy.
We're having a lot of fun tonight. It's been a big atmosphere. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll be back with more of the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics Halftime Report after these messages. Rolesville leading 21-14 over Terry Sanford on the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics halftime report. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, my RDC will be showcasing outstanding Thursday night lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Here are some great highlights from last week's action.
Higgins drops back. Now he's running when there was no rush. Just throws it up for grabs. And it is caught! Caught off the tip!
Barber is going to the air looking for Tyjon Jones. Shakes free. Now heaves it downfield. Jones behind the defense. He's got it. Tyjon Jones racing to the pylon. He's in. Touchdown.
Stevenson one-on-one.
There they go. And knocked away.
What a grab.
Into the
what
arm.
a grab. And really, good coverage. Ball off the helmet of the defender.
Look, ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Nice job. If you can't get the quarterback, get your hands up, and that's exactly what he does.
And he was double teamed.
Yeah.
He's given with a running. Bouncing this one, the Harlandale defense swarming.
Here gets Desert Oasis.
Riggin goes over the top, and he's got a man, and what a diving catch. Going to the corner of the end zone. That's in the air forever, but it's going to come down into the waiting arms again of Fisher Welsh.
Kick it off. And McDonough will grab it at the 6-yard line. McDonough down the sideline. Only has to get past the kicker. McDonough speeds to the end zone. 94 yards.
NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics halftime report continues. 21-14, Rolesville undefeated leads Terry Sanford. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. We saw some big plays from the Rolesville offense early. Jayshawn Patterson here from 61 yards out. That would be followed by a Josh Pullen 60-yard run for a score, but the Bulldogs would come back. What did you see?
Yeah, and the team speed for Rolesville really stood out. Running the football, they just really relied on their offensive line, and then Terry Sanford, a couple missed opportunities with filling the gap, but just missed assignments, and Rolesville took advantage of it. But Terry Sanford showed a lot of fight, Patrick, coming back in the ball game.
One of the biggest plays of the game right here, that personal foul on a 3rd and 13 allowed that drive to continue. A big run from Dorian Clark from 37. Takes it down to the 1. He would take it in one play later. And that wasn't the only major transgression on Rolesville, as Clark gets the touchdown run to get Terry Sanford on the board. On the extra point, there was a personal foul, which changed the field position on the kick. So why not go for the onside kick? The gamble pays off for Terry Sanford. This leads to the game-tying score.
And that was a great call with the extra field advantage opportunity they had. Took a chance, it paid off, and then they won the line of scrimmage in the second quarter, and that's what enabled Terry Sanford to get back in this ball game. Their offensive line getting a lot of push up front, but then for Rolesville, they showed fight of their own.
That would tie things up, but then we saw Rolesville one last shot. Byron Brown improvising on a 3rd and long. That was 3rd and 18. He got 19. And then he swings it out on a pass to the outside. Cyrus Rogers, a lot of freelancing down the sideline, setting things up for this 25-yard touchdown reception by Patterson that came inside the final minute of the first half and reclaimed a Rolesville Ram lead at halftime. 21-14 as we take a look at some of the first half stats.
So for the total yards, Rolesville, very balanced. 218 total yards. Now the penalties on both sides, way too many. But going back to Terry Sanford, the 76 yards rushing, I was impressed because they didn't really have any in the first quarter. Then they started to run the ball in the second quarter. They're going to have to continue to run at a high level.
All right, second half on the way as we wrap up the NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics halftime show from the farm. The undefeated Rams trying to get to 6-0. They lead Terry Sanford at halftime, 21-14. Moments away from the start of the third quarter with the Rolesville Rams at 5-0, leading Terry Sanford 21-14. The Bulldogs 2-0 in the Patriot. Get a break from conference play. They jump back into it again next week, and they'll have some big tests later on in this regular season, the last couple of weeks. Meanwhile, Rolesville trying to send a message to the rest of the NAC 6, and we highlighted the Wake Forest game coming up in about a month. That's not only taking on one of the paragons, not only in their conference, but across the state with their history, but will also create a really intriguing matchup between the Rams' Byron Brown, their first-year quarterback, and the man who left this Rolesville program to go quarterback at Wake Forest, and Noah Douglas. That'll be in about a month's time. And wouldn't it be amazing if Rolesville continues this run and might get to that game perhaps with one loss or maybe even undefeated?
It's going to be wild. And for this region, we were just talking during the break about how many college prospects there are, the rivalries and the strength of all these teams in this area with Wake Forest, Rolesville, Heritage, Rolesville, Wakefield. This area is very strong in football.
And Rolesville will get the ball to begin the third quarter. Our Lane and Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. Here's the approach by Morrison. End over end, but returnable from the 10. A stumble. And down just past the 20. Just about ready to throw it into fifth gear. The freshman Noah Rogers.
Really excited to see the adjustments both teams make. And Coach Samick talked to Aaron about there towards the end of the half. They start throwing the ball more because Terry Sanford loaded the box. And for Terry Sanford, with an offense that's so balanced, what do you try to stop? Do you go back and try to load the box, or do you play cover 2 defense and zone to try to slow down the passing?
What would you do?
I would go ahead and try to stop the run, because we saw how effective the run was on the first couple drives. I think you've got to stop the run and then hope that your defensive line can get pressure on Brown.
4 receivers across the formation, offset. Ball fake Brown. He'll dump it deep down the middle into double coverage. Penalty marker thrown in as Ethan Harris was knocked astride. And this will be the first big penalty of the second half going on the Bulldogs.
And the ball is caught by number 15.
Well, let's see Brown here, the arm strength, getting outside of the pocket, throwing on the run.
And somehow, Jay, that catch was made by Ethan Harris. I thought it hit the ground. He was on his back, and it landed in his left arm.
That was amazing. Following that all the way through to catch the ball. What a start for the drive for the Rams.
All the way to the 45-yard line. Low snap. Jet sweep. Patterson cannot turn the corner. Pick up a couple.
Defense moving laterally very well there, getting off the blocks. Yeah, the edge got beat a little bit. They didn't allow many yards. Look at the pursuit from the backside. Tough physical hit.
That was a play they ran with pretty good success early in the first quarter. 21-14, Rams lead. Handoff to the second man. Pullen runs right through a Bulldog defender who is shaken up a bit and takes it down inside the 35-yard line. Chad McDonald was the unfortunate recipient of this hit.
I mean, that's like getting in the way of a truck. A great run, low center of gravity, and Pullen just lowering his shoulder, showing his power.
The Blue Cross Blue Shield first down. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. First down Rams from the 33-yard line. Byron Brown looking to his sideline. Slot left, slot right. And Josh Pullen, who took one in from 60 yards out late in the first quarter as we get a timeout taken by the Rams. So an early timeout taken by Rolesville's Martin Samick. Meanwhile, I want to go back to that catch made by Ethan Harris on the defensive interference. We didn't give him his just due on that catch, really, nor did the fans. I don't think anybody believed that he caught that ball. Laying on his back. Let's take a look at the replay here.
This is a tough throw, but watch him twist his body around.
I mean, he's on his back, and the ball lands right on the inside of his left elbow, and he brings it in.
I mean, this is so tough when your body and your momentum's going one way, then you've got to look back to hold on to the ball, and you got help.
I mean that has to be the catch of the year for the Rams, and nobody saw it, including us. My great apologies to Ethan Harris.
You're trying to figure out the penalty. He missed the best part. Sorry, Ethan. Great catch.
There's the catch he'll be talking about 40 years from now. He'll pull up the video footage. Oh, man. Again? First down from the 33. Brown, chase out. Hustles away, buying some time for moments. Maybe a gain of 1.5 yards, possibly 2. Good pursuit by the Bulldog defensive line.
Look at the defensive line running here. Sometimes you'll see teams with defensive line are slow or don't hustle. Look at these guys running down and catching Brown. That's just a good job of playing hard and being a well-disciplined defense. If you want to be good, you got to hustle, you got to play fast, you got to run in a pack, and these guys are doing it for the Bulldogs.
The initial chase by Elijah Morris, the final chase by Eli Robinson. That snap is put on the ground, and just covering it up is Byron Brown. And they'll bring up third down about 15. High snap, certainly catchable for Brown, but mishandled.
I've been really impressed by a lot of facets for Rolesville. There's a couple small little things they need to improve on, small little mistakes, the penalties, but this is a team, when they're clicking, they're really, really good and tough to spots because they've got talent and they can beat you in so many different ways.
They flood the left side with 3 receivers. 3rd and 15. Pressure from the edges. It's Red. Down the right sideline. It's hung up in the air and off of the fingertips. Incomplete. Looking for the freshman Noah Rogers. And there's a penalty marker in the backfield, and it's holding on Rolesville. And if you're Terry Sanford, you're probably declining this and bringing up 4th down. The punt team is about 20 feet onto the field, and now they come all the way on. It looks like Rolesville's Byron Brown wanted to maybe go for that one on 4th down, but they will not.
Want another crack at it. That was a big stop for Terry Sanford, getting off the field, and Rolesville moved it down pretty well, but getting off, it's going to build some confidence here as they move in the second half.
Again, we've seen excellent touch on the deep balls down the middle and even down the sideline by Byron Brown.
It was a beautiful ball. He really does. And that's why I like them continue to take shots. They're giving him an opportunity to make big plays.
There's nobody back to return this punt. Verstegen hangs it up and gets it down at around the 15-yard line. Kamar Kyle, who had an outstanding first quarter as the defensive edge man for the Rams, downs it. 21-14, Rolesville leading by a touchdown. Bulldog football when we return. Drive will start for Terry Sanford, down a score at the 10-yard line. 9:17 to play, 3rd quarter. 21-14 Rolesville. So Terry Sanford overcomes a defensive penalty, a big pass play, force a punt. And here's Jacob Knight out of the gun, hands off, driving through the left for about 5 yards. The first down carry right there by Dorian Clark.
For Terry Sanford, you just keep running the football. Make Rolesville prove that you can stop it. You're in a good groove. Your offensive line has settled down. There's 4 new starters up front going into the season, so it's a young offensive line, but they're really doing a nice job right now.
High snap brought down, option, holding on to it is Knights. Very little there, maybe a yard. Now it's really been a game of big plays, a couple of huge runs in the opening quarter by Rolesville, major penalties, but Jay, we haven't seen long sustained drives. We've seen big drives in a couple of plays. We haven't seen that 9 or 11 play drive covering 75 yards yet.
And those are the drives when you kind of own the line of scrimmage, you own the consistency in that drive, and you really kind of set your imprint against the opposing team. So we'll see if they can put one together here.
3rd and 5, out of the backfield. Clark makes a man miss, lunges toward the sticks, and I think he's got enough. If there's an open field tackle right after that catch, that's going to be short of the first down, but an excellent move again by Dorian Clark. Kind of stopped on a dime, planted that foot, and then drove forward. He knew exactly where he needed to get.
And you talk about sustaining drives. How do you sustain them? You've got to convert on 3rd down. That's a good start with a small little outlet pass to Clark out in the flat.
Blue Cross Blue Shield first down. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. To the 21-yard line, first down Bulldogs, trailing 21-14. 7:55 left, 3rd quarter. Rolling to the right, tosses to the man, finds him wide open at the 35-yard line. Yates Johnson makes the catch Bumped out of bounds immediately by OC4, but that's one of the first real targets in space for the 6'5" wideout Yates Johnson.
Beautiful throw by Knight, getting out of the pocket, and you see Johnson there. He ran a corner route towards the outside. Israel Rubin ran an out route underneath, so really put the cornerback and the safety in a tough position. They went up towards Rubin, so Knight threw the ball over the top for the big play.
Yeah, Yates Johnson, a great story. Let's go downstairs to Aaron Summers.
Senior wideout Yates Johnson. He's back on the field after a 2-year hiatus from football. He actually played his freshman year, and when he found out that quarterback Jacob Knight was going to be the starter on varsity, he said, I want to play with my friend. They played football together since they were 6 years old. So it's a combination of Coach McClelland and Knight getting Yates back on the field. Yates Johnson was playing basketball and focusing on that the past few years.
And he's getting some looks right now at UNC Charlotte, perhaps. Elon has given him a glance, and he's a legit player. Injured player down for the Rolesville Rams. 7:15 left, third quarter, 21-14, Rolesville on top. And that is Jamie Farley, senior defensive lineman. So he's having a left knee, left leg addressed by the athletic training staff of the Rams. A reminder coming up later on in tonight's ball game, the Saltwater Seafood catch of the game. Brought to you by Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack. Come see us and check out our catch of the day. Fraley to his feet, unassisted. And a little limp as he heads off the field, but a good sign. This is one of those potential watershed games here for the Rams. Again, they've never had a winning season. They've ripped off 5 straight wins. They exacted revenge for a playoff loss last year to Broughton, did that last week. A chance now to, again, step up, take on a team that has been a really deep playoff team in the Terry Sanford Bulldog program. On your home field, you have the lead. You don't want to miss a play if you're a lot of these Rolesville guys. 2nd and 5. Knight will hand it off. Sneaking through Dre Jackson. And Jackson will pick up enough for a first down. 7 for the freshman. And now close to midfield.
And you talked about Rolesville kind of in uncharted territory for this program. There's a lot of check boxes you've got to check throughout the season. And right now, to this point, every single box they've checked, and each one gets bigger and bigger with this test, the biggest one of the season. But they've really kind of followed the game plan for success to perfection so far, and they've stayed healthy.
Blue Cross Blue Shield first down. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. Bulldog football, 6.5 to go, third quarter, trailing 21-14. Some contact in the backfield, but kind of backing forward is Dorian Clark for a couple of yards. Got spun around about 180 degrees, but even running backwards, he's quick.
He can do it all. He's a center fielder on the baseball team as well, so the balance, the ability to not go down on the ground, he does on the gridiron out on the baseball field. And I'll tell you one thing about him, though. You see the talent on the field, but these coaches both very complimentary of their players, saying they're leaders. Guys look up to them, so that's always great to see guys that do it through their leadership and with their talent.
Knight being chased, tosses toward the sideline, and he goes off of the arm of Yates Johnson. Brings up 3rd down and 7. Again, back to the success the Rams have had so far. Again, they're trying to get this 6-0, and Martin Samick, new to the program, new to the area, and he's beginning to understand what this means for this Rolesville program if they can put things together. But he knows what looms. This is a really good test, a measuring stick, as he called it before the game, before you get into next 6 play, and that's where things will really get tough. Pressure coming, flag down, they fling it out to the left side. Dre Jackson still on his feet and gets to the sideline around the 32, but a penalty marker was thrown in the area of offensive holding. And you see Kamar Kyle readjusting the jersey over the shoulder pads. My guess is he was held again, Jay.
He's been held 3 times tonight. And I believe
I think three times they were called.
Yeah. He was they were caught 3 times holding.
Yes, he's been held maybe a half a dozen times, and that will negate a big play.
You'll see number 7 at the bottom of the screen here. Good get off.
Yeah, and that was kind of a mild hold that time by Freitas. He still was beaten pretty quickly off the line, but I mean, that's a really hard one-on-one matchup for Freitas. And you brought it up earlier where he needs a little bit of help out there with maybe a tight end outside.
I think they need to put a tight end or running back chip there. And again, for high school offensive linemen, the toughest thing is to pass protect.
Pressure coming on 3rd and long, and down goes Knight. Quinn Sandel, junior defensive tackle, right up the middle, getting past Hayden Honeycutt. And the penalty, and now the sack. A couple of offensive line breakdowns by Terry Sanford.
And a good blitz right up the middle. Jalen Butts coming through. This defense, really on both sides, came out of the halftime break firing away.
Patterson awaits the punt back in the 30-yard line. And it will knuckle his way. This is returnable if he judges it right. Stumbles a bit, gets a block, up the sideline and upended over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. 11-yard return, 4:47 remaining, 3rd quarter. Rolesville still holding that halftime lead. Rams 21, Bulldogs 14. Friday night rivals from the farm in Rolesville. Rams on top of Terry Sanford 21-14. We'd like to thank courtesy towing of Apex and United Rentals for making our beautiful high end zone shots possible tonight. You couldn't pay me enough, Jay, to stand up there, especially on a windy night. I don't have enough quarters to put in my pockets to keep me safe.
He looks calm, cool, collected up there too. Very confident.
Are there seatbelts up there?
Yeah.
We thank everyone, our entire crew, all the great cameramen and women, everybody inside the truck. Aaron Summers down the sideline. Patrick Enos and Jay Sohnhalter up here in the booth. 21-14, Rolesville with the lead and with possession. And the black uniforms trimmed in red and silver. Byron Brown, first-year quarterback, as the drive begins at the 41-yard line. Brown, 3-step drop. Sends it down the seam, and it's intercepted by Terry Sanford. Tyquan Hayes returning it the other way. Gets a block, held and thrown to the ground around the 21-yard line. The interception by the top corner that the Bulldogs have. Tyquan Hayes, the senior, comes up huge. And the first Rolesville turnover of the game.
And Brown, not much pressure at time, just not accurate there, underthrew the ball, and Hayes, rangy playing in center field, getting a huge return now to set up great field position for the offense.
Well, we chatted with Bruce McClellan before the game about who is your top most athletic cornerback, and he said no contest, it's number 2. And that is a major change in momentum. Bulldogs really hadn't been doing a whole lot in this 3rd quarter. Down a score on the road. This drive after the pick starts at the 21. Speaking of 21, up the middle, Dorian Clark takes it to about the 12.
You're just kind of waiting for a big play to happen, from either team. And Hayes with that big interception now. If Rolesville would have gone down and scored potentially a 2-score lead, and boy, this is a bad sign.
Well, you look at that calf, it's blowing up. I wonder if that's a cramp. Take a look at that left calf versus the right. That's what happens when you get a cramp. Let's hope that's all it is. He goes to the sideline. Yep. You can tell by the reaction of Bruce McClellan. Down he goes. He's going to get a lot of water here. And they will treat him. Yep. That's the sign, the universal sign of the Charlie horse.
It always kind of makes you, realize or feel good that at least it's a cramp and nothing worse. And hopefully he gets some hydration in, get stretched out, and get back in the ballgame.
I mean, I don't have large calves, but whenever I get those cramps on the tennis court, my calves blow up about 100% size of the other one. So as they treat Dorian Clark, who again had those 2 big runs late in the first half. One for 37 yards to get the Bulldogs the 1, and then he took it in. Picks up 8 hard yards there to bring up 2nd and short. So they continue to knead out that calf. All right, now let's get to our Lane & Associates Smile Cam. We love to make you smile. Well, the only one in this beautiful facility. Not smiling is that man on the ground, Dorian Clark. Still dealing with cramps in the left leg, and now it looks like the right calf might be cramping up, and the only person on the field who might not be cramping is Aaron Summers. Aaron?
Hey, Patrick, I'm doing good down here. I made sure I hydrated today. But Bulldogs definitely want Dorian Clark back on the football field. Even though they like to have a balanced attack, they said that the senior running back has earned the right to get the football. He's done great this year, already averaging over 100 yards per game. Coach McClellan said he's unselfish. He works hard. He packs a great combo of speed and size. He's been a great leader, so much so that their young freshman running back, Dre Jackson, copies absolutely everything that Clark does.
So both teams on this still almost an Indian summer evening here in the Triangle benefit from a little bit of a blow there because Dorian Clark dealing with the cramps so badly he couldn't make it all the way to the sideline, so everybody got a little bit of a break. He remains on the sideline, 2nd down and 2 as we resume. Play fake to Jackson, a toss to the 5-yard line, caught, stretching to the end zone, touchdown. Terry Sanford is Zemdi Udo. First time we call his name, and the Bulldogs are within an extra point of a tie.
And he brings it
The
in
big
for a Terry
NC
Sanford
State
touchdown.
commit, the tight end playing defensive end and also tight end tonight. You figure they're going to have to find him somehow in the passing game with his height advantage. We'll see Knight, the zone read fake, getting outside of the pocket, finding number 5 here. A good job by him, one-on-one situation, going through his man and finding the end zone.
13-yard touchdown reception, this for the tie. And it is 21 all with 3:56 left in the 3rd quarter. The interception by Tyquan Hayes leads to the hookup from Knight to Udo, and it's 21-21 with 3:56 left in the 3rd.
Big plays happening. Whenever you have a turnover, it's going to give you some momentum. And Terry Sanford, this defense, they've really gotten better as this game's progressed. That now hopefully for their offense, Clark can get healthy over on the sideline with this break. They're going to need him here to close out the ball game. But I really like the fight that they've shown. And Rolesville here, they're going to have to find a response here because the momentum is over on the Bulldog sideline.
2nd touchdown reception of the year for Udo. 21-21, late stages, 3rd quarter. And just when it looked like not a lot was happening positively for the Bulldogs, the interception, well, it's funny, how making a big defensive play or a big special teams play can suddenly inject the other parts of your squad that are struggling with a boost of confidence, and that's what happened.
It's almost like it's contagious when somebody makes a big play, the one side of the ball really plays well. It gives motivation to the other teammates on the other side of the ball to make plays of their own.
Lane and Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. We love to make you smile. 21-21. And the kick by Morrison. Squibs it. Goes off the fingertips of a Ram and squirts into the sideline. It'll be excellent field position coming up for the Rams. Nailed that one right off the hands, I believe, of Jalen Butts. 21-21. As we take a look at the Saltwater Seafood scoring drive, brought to you by Saltwater Seafood. Come and see us and check out our catch of the day. After the interception, 2 plays interrupted by a cramp and finalized by this 13-yard touchdown strike to Udo, 21 all. 3:56 left, 3rd quarter. And the Rams offensively silent here in the 2nd half. Try to turn things around. Josh Pullen
off to number 6,
up to about the 41-yard line.
So for Rolesville here, they've had success in the passing game, but what do you do best? Who's your best players? Well, you got a great offensive line, especially on that right side with Kadeem Willis, Jonathan Adorno. You've got Pullen in the backfield. I think you need to focus on the run here and follow those 2 big linemen up front.
And straight up the middle to about the 43. Pullen again. Brings up a 3rd and short.
Here, I would do the same thing. Make a statement on this drive that you're going to be physical and punish the defensive line. Continue to pound the rock.
A spot where you could ill afford a penalty here for the Rams. 3rd and 2. Brown. Change the play. Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Pressure coming, pass up the sideline, has a man, over the shoulder catch, Christian Best down the sideline, lost the ball out of his hands, and he's out of bounds at around the 11-yard line. Christian Best, a couple of big receptions for the Rams on another beautifully touched throw by Byron Brown.
And there was pressure right in Brown's face, and this is an outstanding throw right on the outside shoulder of Best. And what a big play for this offense. When they have one-on-one coverage, he changed the play at the line of scrimmage and took the shot downfield, and it paid off.
And Taekwon Hayes able to punch that ball out of the hands as it goes out of bounds, and now Hayes is down, dealing with cramps at around the 5-yard line. 2:55 left, third quarter. Again, the temperature's topped out today around 90 degrees. It's humid. And here currently at the farm, it's 76. But we've seen high-level, high-intensity football from the opening play. And in a non-conference tilt between the well-established Terry Sanford program on Rolesville, which is aiming for its not only first winning season, but they have higher aspirations than that once they get into conference play. I mean, they're laying it all on the field.
They've shown me a lot tonight now with Hayes down with the cramps. He's the best defensive player, the best offensive player, Clark. Yeah, he went out as well, so both of these guys hopefully can come back quickly because they make such a huge impact. And I'll tell you, for Rolesville here, with Hayes down, whoever his replacement is, I would go and try to attack that guy in this next play.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind, so far the cramps we've seen have been from two key Terry Sanford players. And this is, I'm sure you're on that sideline if you're Bruce McClellan and the athletic trainers. Did we bring enough water? Did we bring enough Powerade? Did we bring enough Gatorade? Suck it down here because there still is another full quarter of football to go, and it's a tie score, and that could come into play in a serious way in the fourth quarter.
It can be huge because all it takes is one play, one or two plays. If you got a star guy out, the other team targets the replacement, goes after him, it can make a huge impact.
So still treating Hayes on the other side of the sideline for the Bulldogs. He's up, and it might take him a little while to get to that sideline because he will not be allowed to stay in after that kind of treatment. So he's a long walk to that sideline. Meanwhile, for the Rolesville Rams, we were talking with Martin Samick before the game about just exactly where he thought this team would be at this stage of the year. Again, in his first year with essentially a brand new coaching staff, a new system, a new defensive scheme, a new way to play offense. It's all kind of gelled here over the last couple of weeks. But it's a whole new level once they get into next six play, because you're talking about Wakefield that's sitting 3-2. Knightdale is undefeated at 5-0. You have Wake Forest, the 4 AA champs, sitting at 4-1, surprisingly enough. And then Corinth Holders, their final game of the year, they're 4-0. So, I mean, you could get to 6-0 tonight if you win, but man, that is a wood-chipping conference schedule waiting for the Rams.
At the SEC West.
First down from the 13. Blitzing through, driving forward inside the 10. And about this 7-yard line, Jay-Sean Patterson.
Ball is set by number 3, Jay-Sean Patterson.
Look at the offensive line here. Willis, 76. Adorno shielding off his guys. Those two guys are clearing the path. And if you see those guys pulling, that's where the ball's going to go. They're the road graders up front.
At the 7-yard line, second down and 5. Pulling the tailback. Brown will give it off to him. Pulling, driving forward toward the goal line, and down a little bit short.
Ball is handed off to number 6, Josh Pullen.
Yeah, look at the Rams. They're saying, let's go, get a quick play in, because they're sniffing the goal line, but they also sniff a couple of cramps on that Bulldog side. They feel like they're wearing them down.
They're in a groove right now.
First and goal. Through the middle, Pullen to the end zone, breaks the plane, touchdown, Rolesville. Pullen from a yard out, and the Rams back on top.
And the ball is carried into the end zone by number 6, Josh Pullen for a Rolesville touchdown.
Pullen on this drive is almost like he got better as the drive went on. We'll see here. Terry Sanford, pretty good job getting in the backfield, but it was just short amount to go to get it, and he dove through just enough to cross over the goal line.
Verstegen with the left boot for the extra points, and it's good. 28-21, Rolesville. Lane and Associates touchdown, a 1-yard run by Pullen, his second score tonight. 2:04 left, third quarter. It was a 2-score game pretty early in the opening quarter, but since then, Terry Sanford has roared back. Bulldogs have never led, but it's been a very narrow 1-score contest for the last 2.5 quarters.
These teams are fighting back, going blow for blow. For Terry Sanford here, it's going to start with a good special teams play, but hopefully Clark will be okay because he's such a big part of this offense, especially what he's been able to do in the second and third quarter here. They need him back to establish the ground game.
Well, one guy they do have back is right there, number 2, Taekwon Hayes, who treated those cramps. Looks like he's walking nice and free. He and the freshman, Dre Jackson, will set up for the return. And they set up short at around the 20-yard line. The approach and the boot by Clayton, and he goes right to Hayes. Let's test out the hamstrings. There's a cut, keeps his balance, swings to the outside, lays down his shoulder, and he's taken down the 45-yard line. Penalty marker also came in. Might have been a grab of the face mask there, Jay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a face mask call. And, another opportunity here to improve the field position with the penalty.
Ball responded at the 45-yard line.
Well, what a strong-willed return by Taekwon Hayes. I'm not sure if the kick was intended to go at him because of the cramps he just suffered a few moments ago, as the penalty is actually going on Terry Sanford. It's a face mask against Taekwon Hayes. So not only did he have energy to return that kick, he had energy to yank a face mask for 15 yards. What a guy trying to bring him down. Nice smile by Bruce McClellan.
We'll see him here, made a couple moves.
Right there.
There's the face mask.
Full grab
one there.
of the face mask of Zamir McCoy.
And it looked like one back to him. Not as strong and not as much of a pull, but that's where we thought the call was going to go.
So that will knock the return back to the 30-yard line.
Clark back in the ball game, good sign.
Yeah, Dorian Clark, number 21, sets up left for the quarterback, Jacob Knight. 1:55 left, third quarter. Jet sweep, Rubin escapes, straightens up to the 35, and no further. 28-21, Rolesville with the lead. We'll take a look at the Saltwater Seafood scoring drive, brought to you by Saltwater Seafood. 6 plays, 65 yards, a beautiful catch. Ball poked away, but led to this. Pullen taking it in from a yard out, and the Rams break the tie and take the lead, 28-21. 1:26 left, third quarter. Gain of 6 on first down. Knight will give it off, and nowhere to go for Dorian Clark. That was sniffed out on the defensive line. And a penalty marker sails in late on the play.
Ball is carried by number 21. There is a flag on the play.
And another personal foul, this one on Rolesville. How many personal fouls have we seen tonight, Jay? 5 or 6?
Too many to count.
And that will be an automatic first down for the Bulldogs. Well, we've seen 2 on this drive. One on the kickoff return that knocked the Bulldogs back, and now on a situation that would have brought up third down at about 4. Personal foul against the Rams. First down out just outside midfield. On the 49-yard line for Knights and the Bulldogs. 1 minute left, third quarter. Rubin in motion, resets. And as does the defense now for Rolesville. O.C. Ford showing blitz. Handoff. Clark swings to the wide side. And Clark gets it to about the 43-yard line.
Ball is carried by number 21.
Gain of 8.
Look at the offensive line. Just, I guess, really clearing out just enough room, but then the physical play this defense has had on Clark. I mean, he's been taking a lot of hits, and with that cramp, we'll see how he holds up here in the fourth quarter.
Now I know why they call Orion Ford OC. You watch that highlight, said OC. That's a big hit right there.
He is a strong player in the secondary, and his name fits the bill.
H. Johnson to the bottom of the screen on 2nd and 2. Dorian Clark will have enough for the first down. He'll be right around the 40-yard line. Bulldogs down to score 28-21. The thing to watch, though, with guys like Clark and guys like Taekwon Hayes, who have gone down in this third quarter with cramps, it's those cutbacks. It's planting the foot and driving back. Will the Cavs hold up? Final 30 seconds of this third quarter. And you can bet whatever liquids they have on that sideline, they will be heavily encouraging the Bulldogs to suck them down here to get ready for the fourth quarter. First down carry, struggling ahead for a couple of yards. We've seen a lot of hard yards from the Bulldogs in the backfield tonight like that. And that will be the final play of this third quarter. Clark for a couple. And the undefeated Rolesville Rams surrendered their lead as Terry Sanford caught him late in the third quarter. But a 1-yard touchdown run by Pullen puts Rolesville back on top. 28-21, Rolesville on top of Terry Sanford, heading to the fourth from the farm.
Head on down to the Rolesville Athletic Booster Club tents.
Fourth quarter about to begin from Rolesville. Rams 28, Terry Sanford 21. There'll be a 2nd and 8 coming up for the Bulldogs as we go downstairs to Aaron.
The message to the Rams defense from head coach Martin Samick was, this is 4th down territory. Terry Sanford, they'll go for it. So make sure you keep your head down and make the tackles. We're on their side of the field, and we need to make sure that we don't let them get any closer.
A nice call there defensively by the Rams with a run blitz, and they stoned Dorian Clark after he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Initial hit by Darius Robinson.
Now, this was clog up the middle, nowhere to go. Now, I don't think they were going to do that on 3rd down here, but I do think Terry Sanford, when you see the linebackers coming up, that means it's time to take a shot down the field and throw the ball over the top. Now, on 3rd and long, they're going to have to here anyways, but they need to start to read the defense and take what they're giving them.
H. Johnson, as we get a whistle and a timeout taken by Terry Sanford. H. Johnson, their most frequently targeted receiver this year, only 1 catch tonight, 14 over the first 4 games. And if we're going to see the Rams load up against the run here, that has to be the guy for Jacob Knight to find.
And he's got to match up every single time with his height. And, you know, it's one of those situations where you don't connect on a couple of them, there's 1 catch, but you got to keep going back to it because you know at some point it is going to work and it is going to be a big play for the offense.
28-21, a reminder, coming up later in this fourth quarter, we'll be selecting the Saltwater Seafood Catch of the Game. Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack. Come see us and check out our catch of the day. It's a little bit later in this fourth quarter, which has just begun. Rolesville 28, Terry Sanford 21. Great crowd, great energy. And the Rams band, marching band, looking for a defensive hold here. And what, as Aaron mentioned, is probably 4-down territory here for the Bulldogs, only unless they go backwards here on this 3rd and 8 play. H. Johnson, top of the screen on 3rd and 8. Time for Knight over the middle, and an excellent catch is made at the 25-yard line and down to the 20, and a first down on Izemni Udo's 2nd catch of the night.
And he's sitting in the slot here on a corner, huge height advantage, nobody even covering him in the middle of the field, and really scared to hit him when he caught the ball. A good job recognizing where he was, seeing him, being assertive and throwing the ball by Knight.
Sir Ethan Daniel, that may be a touchdown-saving open field tackle right there. But it's enough for a first down. Ball right at the 20-yard line for Knight and the Bulldogs. And here is Clark breaking through. And Clark, good first down yardage, 5, maybe 6.
21.
We talked about Udo on the last play with the catch. Nice block here to clear out a path. Brandon Roy, also those 2 guys on the right side of the line of scrimmage, getting the push up front, and that's what you like to see, a guy make a play in the passing game and then go back and get dirty and do it in the run game as well.
So Johnson to the top, Cooper Barco, the wide receiver, to the left. And Udo now sets up the slot to the left. Hand off Clark, angling left, nowhere to go. The push by that defensive line once again by the Rolesville Rams. Haven't talked a lot tonight about Olu Adewumi, number 99, but that was a big stuff by the Ram defensive end.
Coach Samick talked a lot about him, too, how good he is. Great player on the D-line. We'll see him get off the ball. Number 99, come off the block against Roy. It's so tough to throw your man off and then make the tackle, but that's exactly what he did.
3rd and 6. The 15-yard line. Bulldogs driving for what could be a game-tying score. Knight, time to throw. Steps up, tosses left side, is cradled in right at the 10-yard line by Rubin.
And the pass falls incomplete.
Loose ball came up, but Rubin was already down, and that will bring up 4th down. And now what will the Bulldogs do? Is this indeed 4-down territory? You're well within field goal range. You know you have a couple of more possessions to go, Jay. How tough is this decision for Coach McClellan?
Well, I mean, it's really tough. It looks like they're going to go for it, and you know, I like the aggressiveness, but I think still here you still have time. You do feel confident in the field goal kicking situation to kick it here, and you're going to have more possessions.
4th and 6. Knight tosses, looking for Johnson. Penalty marker is in, and another one for good measure. And this looks like it's going against Rolesville's Isaiah Kozar, number 12. That's a tough matchup, 6'5" against 6 feet. Looking for the isolation man-to-man against perhaps the top receiver on the field tonight. And the officials discuss. Jeff Faulkner, our referee, signals defensive holding. So not pass interference, but defensive holding on what was a 4th and 6 play.
Knight knew he was going to Johnson as soon as the ball was snapped. And I mean, it was just easy call out there, too much contact. And that's what you give. You give your wide receiver an opportunity for a one-on-one catch, or you're hoping that you get a penalty on Rolesville, and it worked there.
And it will be enough for a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs at about the 6-yard line. Tight formation for the first time tonight. We see Jacob Knight under center. Eye backfield. Handoff. Clark immediately hits. Keeps on his feet. And there's a whistle. Big stop again on 1st and goal. Adewumi.
And he is met by multiple Rams at the line of scrimmage.
28-21. Rolesville leads.
And I like the I formation look. Power look trying to get physical up front, but Rolesville, this defensive line, when they can get off the ball and get leverage, they're so tough to stop.
Well, I don't know if you want to keep going to the run game here, not with Kamar Kyle, number 7, getting re-involved in the defense along with Adewumi.
On the right side, you got Udo and Johnson.
2nd and goal. Play fake. Sprint out of the bootleg. Knight heads to the pylon, and he is in. Touchdown, Terry Sanford. Markers are down. Look like after the score.
There's a flag on the field.
Is it a penalty on the play or after the play? And it's going against Terry Sanford.
Against Terry Sanford.
And the points coming off the board. And that reaction by Bruce McClellan says it all. Jay, what did you see?
Boy, I'll tell you, I couldn't. I couldn't see just in the live action what had happened down there. I thought it was potentially maybe a hold, but we'll see him come around the edge with the bootleg. He looked like he was going to throw the ball, then he decided he could get in the end zone. And the only thing I could see is maybe a block in the back by Johnson. Wasn't a lot there. That's the only thing that could stand out to me that they could have thrown the penalty on.
So the points come down, and the line of scrimmage now moves back at the 19-yard line. 2nd and goal. Toss left side. Clark stumbles, loses his footing, and comes down and around the 12. And that brings up 3rd and goal. Now, only a couple plays ago, they did go on 4th down and were able to draw the penalty and converts.
Big chunk of yards. Now we'll see with the formation they line up in. Okay, Udo and Johnson on the right side of the formation with Udo in the wing. Johnson up top of the screen.
Udo's going to reset.
Over, yeah.
So Johnson isolated on the right. Fumble and a snap. It's loose on the ground. Rolesville claims they have it. Coming out of there for Rolesville Rams. Darius Robinson recovers. And the undefeated Rams deny Terry Sanford. 8:07 left in the 4th. Still a 7-point lead for Rolesville.
What a huge turn of events here with the turnover. I mean, there's a reason Rolesville's undefeated right now. They make the right plays at the right time, and that was just a mistake, quarterback center exchange, but they took advantage of the opportunity to get off the field.
The snap by Deaver looked like it was fine. Maybe it looked like Jacob Knight was in a little bit of a hurry to get out of there and run the play. 2nd turnover by the Bulldogs. 8:07 to play, 4th quarter. 28-21 Rolesville. A keeper by Brown, testing the left and losing a yard. Tackled by Jarvis, Higgins, Simmons. Now if you're the Rams, you can't get complacent here. Long way from over. You'd like ideally to pick up a couple of 1st downs, burn some clock, maybe get into field goal range to make it a 2-score game, but losing a yard on a 1st down does not set up the Rams particularly well. You cannot afford a mistake down here.
Well, I think the biggest thing, both teams need to play clean, no penalties.
Another run play off the left. Nominal yardage, maybe a couple.
Ball is handed off to number 6, Josh
3rd and long. Pullen picks up maybe 2.
Scrimmage will be 3rd down.
Now let's go downstairs to Aaron.
Patrick, you mentioned focus. It's been something that head coach Martin Samick has been stressing with his Rolesville Rams. Even though we're undefeated, even though we haven't lost, we don't yet know how to handle winning. We need to make sure that we continue to bring it every single day, maintain our focus, and not let up.
3rd and 10, stepping up, tossing down the left side through traffic, and incomplete. Targeting Noah Rogers, the freshman wide receiver. How's that for a way to spring back to your feet? 4th down, and the Rams do nothing off of the Terry Sanford turnover.
The Bulldogs standing up on the defensive side after that turnover. Many times you can be dejected. There they came out motivated, getting off the field now with an opportunity. They should get pretty good field position. For Rolesville, though, their offense, it's kind of surprising, that they haven't been able to get back into a groove with their running game, with their offensive line strength, with their running backs, but they just haven't gotten into rhythm like they were in the 1st half.
Here's Yates Johnson, clamoring for a punt that he can return. Devin Verstegen out of his own end zone, pressure coming, got it off, and it will take a little bit of a bounce for the Rams, but not much. Out of bounds to the 40-yard line. 28-21, Rolesville trying to hang on. Terry Sanford in plus territory, down a touchdown midway through the 4th. Well, this Friday night rivals between Terry Sanford and Rolesville has lived up to the billing. 28-21, Rolesville leading Terry Sanford. 6 minutes, 42 seconds left, 4th quarter. Short punt puts the Bulldogs in charge at the Rolesville 40-yard line. 1st down, Knight looking to throw. Sprints, weaves, and ushers this one out of bounds.
I like it. He didn't see anything down the field, trying to get out of the pocket. He stayed patient, picked up a couple yards. Let's see the pass rush. Not a lot. Really, the offensive line held up. Just the secondary. We said that a couple times tonight. This secondary, they've been pretty darn good as far as locking things up and allowed the defensive line to get after Knight.
Loss of a yard. 2nd and 11 from the 41. Saquon Smith, Dre Jackson, Israel Rubin, all to the bottom of your screen on 2nd and long. Knight looking left, pressured, escapes as a marker is thrown up the right sideline, dodging a hit, and that would have been enough for a first down, but it looks like this one's coming back. Appears to be an offensive hold.
Quarterback keeps the ball and is run out of bounds.
Negates another big scramble by Jacob Knight.
Holding against Terry Sanford.
Let's see number 56, Brandon Roy here. He's on the right side of the screen.
Not sure.
Not a lot, but when you push your hands behind somebody, you're putting yourself, in a bad position, and unfortunate for the Bulldogs going against them.
And it's now going to be 2nd down and 27 for the Bulldogs. Knight retreats across the middle. He finds Rubin, but nowhere to go. And Rubin back to the line of scrimmage. As we close in on 6 minutes to play in regulation, the tackle by Darius Robinson in the open field.
It's amazing how these penalties just kind of mess up these drives. Now you got to throw a screen, and Rolesville's just sitting on it, just waiting for it. 2nd and long situation, everybody knows it's probably going to be a screen. They were ready for it. And now a tough position for the Bulldogs offense.
3rd and 28, and if you're Bruce McClellan, you're pulling out the driver here.
Yeah, so throw it deep.
4 receivers across the formation. Looked like there might have been a head start. Throw across the middle. It's grabbed by Dre Jackson and tripped up around the 47-yard line. Never held on fully. And it's 4th down.
And
Jackson found some space.
Yeah, he was going down the seam, wide open. Now the safeties are playing deep. He still had about 8 more yards to go, but if he would have caught that, it would have been a one-on-one situation in the open field.
And if he catches that, at least the Bulldogs might have had a chance to maybe go for it on 4th down. Instead, the punt team is back on the field. 5:44 left in the 4th. And this one slightly turns over, but heads toward the right sideline and out of bounds. 5:38 left in the 4th. Rolesville football up by 7. And one more time, the Bulldog defense will need a stop, and they will need a fairly quick stop. An efficient stop, not to give up a lot of field position either.
Yeah, and this is a time in the ball game where, 4th quarter, all the conditioning, everything that you do, this is when it pays off as far as your hard work in the offseason. This is when you have to play your best. This defense has had really good spots tonight, but they're going to have to come up with a big play. They need to get a turnover themselves here to get a spark going, but good field position to start the drive for the Rams.
There's one turnover tonight by Rolesville on the pick by Taekwon Hayes earlier in this half. Out of the gun, jet sweep, a patient jet sweep, trying to get to the right end and nowhere to go. And be careful if you're Taekwon Hayes right there. He was a little handsy, but ushers Cyrus Rodgers to the sideline.
They thought they had the edge with Adorno blocking his guy. Poland missed his block, though, and that's what allowed Brandon Olivas, number 32, to get in the backfield and slow things down.
Loss of a couple. A little bit of lightning off in the distance. Clock ticks toward 5 minutes left in the 4th. Brown, this play is blowing dead. A lot of unexpected motion right there on the offense of the Rams. Clock stops at 4:59. Rolesville backed up by 5.
Well, we saw a 2nd and long situation for Terry Sanford offense, a screen. And there's the penalty, false start. But now
only 3 of the 11 were in motion simultaneously.
Only a couple. But now 2nd and long. And Terry Sanford, you guys sit on the screen here. Be aware of that. See how deep the safeties are, about 12 yards deep. Can't give up the big passing play.
Line of gain is the Terry Sanford 49-yard line. Sprinting left. Pullen on his feet. Escapes down the left side. Pullen pushed out of bounds around the 30. Needed 17, picks up 36.
What a huge run. We'll see him read his blocks. Adorno, Willis, both those guys pulling. But then look at him cut back kind of go backwards and then around. And then if you're a guy in the secondary for the Bulldogs, it wasn't really the missed tackles, it was the missed angles. You miscalculated, they went around blocks, and that's what allowed him to get outside his guys who continued to push downfield blocking.
The vision by the senior tailback, Josh Pullen. They marked him back at the 35-yard line, so a 31-yard gain. First down from the 35. Testing the middle, nothing there, but protecting the football. And it's second down.
And you talked earlier about still a lot of time here. Now the clock's continue to move down, getting close to 4 minutes. I think this is a time where you continue to run the ball, impose your will up front, use the clock, and see if you can drive this in for a touchdown while burning down the time.
And again, Terry Sanford, 2 timeouts remaining. They took one earlier in this half. And this second down and 9 play will start beneath 4 minutes left in regulation. Bulldog football with a 7-point lead. And Brown doing a nice job dropping down the play clock. Swings it out to his outlet. This is Pullen to the right side. Tries to turn the corner and does. Stays in bounds. And brought down at around the 26.
The ball carrier is
third and
6,
very
Josh
manageable.
Pullen.
Maybe 2.5 or 3 yards to get for the Rams.
And look at this block by number 8, Cyrus Rogers on the outside. Holding up Olivas, number 32, just long enough for him to get outside on the edge, and then Ethan Harris downfield as well. Both of those wide receivers, we've seen them tonight with big catches, but doing it unselfishly, blocking for his teammates.
Well, this is the play of the game defensively for the Terry Sanford Bulldogs. If they don't get a stop, suddenly they must get another stop and start using their timeouts. 3rd and 2. Pullen hesitating, tapping the gas, cuts back to his left, swings toward the end zone, and stiff arms a man and gets to the 1.
And the ball is carried by number 6, Josh Pullen.
Pullen, we'll see him here. He kind of looked like Le'Veon Bell,
hesitating,
standing up tall,
touchdown.
and then turning on the Jets. And then the secondary, the linebackers, nowhere to be seen. Just fell a little bit short. But honestly, this may turn out well for the Rams because now the clock's going to start turning here and moving down. What a great run by Pullen and this offensive line. Talk about taking over in the 4th quarter, winning the line of scrimmage. They're doing it right now.
They marked him down at about the 2-yard line. Well, I take it back. Touchdown for Pullen. I didn't see a signal, but Pullen is in. And here's the extra point try, and that one is blocked away by Terry Sanford. Rolesville behind Josh Pullen once again. A big run for what could be the game-winning score. Pullen takes it in, 34-21. Rolesville leads Terry Sanford, 2:54 to play in the 4th. (34-21). Rolesville on top of Terry Sanford. 2:54 left, 4th quarter. Josh Pullen and the Rolesville Rams may have just salted this one away. 2 big runs by Pullen for this outgoing senior who's about to take Rolesville to a 6-0 start. And they are just getting started. Frankly, it didn't look like any officials raised their hands on that touchdown run by Pullen. I thought they marked him short. There's Bruce McClellan. I wonder if that's his contention here. Again, when Pullen took it, I guess breaking the plane, the official closest to play kept his arms down, took the football. And it looked like from our angle, and
there wasn't
perhaps from Bruce McClellan, he thought he was also marked short. And we'll take one more look here at Pullen. So he's weaving close to the plane of the goal line. Down goes the knee. Comes up. The official comes over, asks for the ball. The arms are not up. So Pullen turns around. He's kind of looking around. Was that a score or was it not? And next thing you know, about 30 seconds later, they're lining up for the extra point. And I would imagine that is
because he
that's
didn't really
the issue
have
for
time.
Bruce McClellan.
He really didn't have time to talk because I think they were set up like it was just going to be another defensive play.
34-21. Rolesville on top of Terry Sanford with 2:54 to go. What a night that Pullen has had. Third touchdown run of the game as we get ready for the Lane and Associates Family Dentistry kickoff. Terry Sanford down by 2 scores with only 2 timeouts left. End over end, picked up on a hop. Hayes through the middle. If he gets through, this is trouble. And is brought down from the side around the 40-yard line. Paul Wynn on the tackle saves a big return as we take a look at the Saltwater Seafood scoring drive brought to you by Saltwater Seafood. 5 plays, 59 yards, and a couple of late drive carries by Pullen.
You want to give the ball to your best player, your senior leader, the offensive line. Good job up front, but the patience of Pullen, you know, the way he can finish off runs, and he really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And Rolesville was raising up for a touchdown. They wanted
the only arms that went up were by his teammates, and you can understand that. Maybe a future in high school officiating for them down the road. And again, 2 timeouts left for Terry Sanford. We get a substitution foul on the Rams with 2:47 to play. Well, no head coach ever gives up hope. So for Bruce McClellan and the Bulldogs, they're thinking quick strike, we can do that. Onside kick, we've done that tonight. And then one more score with 2:47 to go and 2 timeouts. They swing it out to the right side. Rubin still on his feet inside Rolesville territory. And picks up the first down, which will temporarily stop the clock at 2:38.
The quick snap, and now for the Rolesville defense. Can't allow anything over your head. If the ball's in front of you, make the tackle, then no penalties. Don't give anything easy to Terry Sanford. Make them use the clock on this drive.
The 46, Knight out of the gun. Ushers it left. Throws against his body, incomplete. And the Rolesville sideline. He was on the chase. That's a tough throw for a right-handed quarterback to make on the run.
Number 3 is incomplete.
But a wise decision by Knight.
They had to get out of the pocket, threw the ball away. The clock stops. They've got to regroup, and you know, they had some success throwing the ball to Udo. And number 5, the big tight end, is coming back in the ball game now. I think in this situation, you know, for Rolesville, playing in zone coverage, throw the ball to your big guys. You're going to be sitting in coverage. There's going to be an open opportunity. They're the big targets. Try to find them in the passing game.
Knight flushed out right. Throws back against the grain and short hops Rubin. That's incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 10.
The pass to number 1 is ruled incomplete.
34-21.
Rolesville
Rolesville ran out to a 14-0 lead. Late in the first quarter, Terry Sanford, about 3.5 minutes later, had tied the game 14. It's been a very tight margin since, but Terry Sanford has never led tonight. 3rd and 10. 5 in the pattern for the Bulldogs. Throws it back across and finds one of them. That is Udo. And Udo to about the 20-yard line.
There he is, just crossing the middle. We'll see number 5 here, coming across. And Knight, good job throwing on the run. Really accurate throw. Zone coverage again. Now moving the ball here now. You want to score on this drive, but still have enough time for a possible onside kick.
Knight again. Fade to the edge of the end zone and a little bit too far, looking for Saquon Smith.
Number 8 falls incomplete.
2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd down.
Inside the Wake County 86 green zone. Help keep Wake County litter free. 86 your trash.
And for Rolesville, this is the time when the pass rush needs to step up. You've got to stay fresh. You've got to come off the ball. Adorno in the offensive lineman. He's now playing defensive tackle right in the middle.
Heat coming. Dodged by Knight. Sprints right. Keeps it himself and takes it over the sideline. Picks up a couple of yards. But the margin is so small now for the Bulldogs. You cannot afford a mistake. 3rd down and about 8. They need 2 scores. Still have your 2 timeouts. Did a nice job navigating the clock on this drive.
They really have. Throwing the ball out of bounds, stopping the play, being patient, not forcing anything, but still it's going to come down to execution on 3rd and 4th down, potentially here.
1:54 left. Again, a 5-receiver formation. No tight ends. Knight to the right, turns the corner, and heads down the sideline. And it will depend on the mark here. He's close. Down at about the, what looks to be maybe the 15-yard line. So he's going to be about 5 yards short here. So this is it.
Play the game.
The Rams sideline waves to the Rams fans. They want noise. They're on the verge of a 6-0 start, which would be the best in school history. 4th down, Terry Sanford. A fade to the corner of the end zone, penalty marker down. Pass is incomplete, but this will keep the drive alive. Saquon Smith was interfered with, and that was a very easy call. Defensive holding.
Well, the strategies we've seen throughout the game, 3rd and 4th down, when they need a big play, critical catch, they're going one-on-one situations to the big wide receivers, hoping either they make a play or there's a pass interference call. We'll see. Knight looked over towards the left. Great job looking off the safety, and then the push.
They will move the chains. It will be a 1st down. It'll be spotted at around the 8. 142 and holding. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Knight tossed to the right side and in and out of the hands, incomplete. Even if that catch is made, it looked like the knee might have been down for Israel Rubin.
Probably better that he didn't catch it, so the clock stops and can kind of regroup here.
For Super Bowl timeouts as well.
This wasn't going to be a big game probably.
Yeah, that left knee was down. So a helpful drop right there by Rubin. 2nd and goal. 1:38 to play. I mean, there's time to score, time to recover the onside kick and get down the field again.
Dorian Clark back in the ball game.
Knight to the flat, grabbed by Clark, heads to the end zone, and the arms are up by an official. Touchdown, Terry Sanford. 1:30 to play, 4th quarter. A 6-yard hookup with Dorian Clark. And it's 34-27. And the Bulldogs will send the extra point crew on the field.
This is a Terry Sanford team. They're fighting. They're not going to give up. They're resilient. But the way they navigated that drive, using the clock and being smart, going to the matchups that benefited them to eventually score, that was impressive. Now it's going to come down this onside kick here and see if they get another opportunity. But they should be proud of the way they manufactured points here and extended plays to get things going, get the ball moving, and then finally punching it in.
Gotta credit Jacob Knight. He kept his composure in this drive. They kept things simple as far as the pass patterns. And Dorian Clark picks up the TD reception. 34-28. So now it basically all comes down to this onside kick. As we are ready now for our saltwater seafood catch of the game. Brought to you by Saltwater Seafood Market and Fry Shack. Come see us and check out our catch of the game. And it comes from earlier in this 2nd half. A catch that we did not fluff up as much as we should have because nobody thought that Ethan Harris caught that ball. On his back, the ball lands in his left arm after a penalty marker came in for pass interference anyway. Catch of his career. And that is our Saltwater Seafood catch of the game. Well, here we go. Marching off what will be an onside kick attempt. Terry Sanford has already had Bailey Morrison deliver one onside kick that was recovered by the Bulldogs earlier in the game. It must go 10 yards. It has to reach the 50. He goes the opposite side. It's loose. This is a live football. Diving to it. Still loose. Still loose. And Terry Sanford has recovered. The Bulldogs have life. The recovery by Brandon Olivas. And the unbeaten year for the Rolesville Rams now hangs in the balance as it deflected off of the body of Ja'Cory Bible, who tried to pick up a hot onside kick on the short hop.
And now Rolesville, they can go get that ball before 10 yards, but Terry Sanford had to wait. Rolesville went and attacked him with the bounce, ricocheted off his helmet. Now, if they can go down and score, how about that extra point? Looms big, still a lot of time here, a lot of room to go.
63 yards away, a minute 28 and 2 timeouts. Knight to the right, pressure from the backside, and down he goes. The sack by Ole Adumwe.
We'll see him come off the screen here. Roy couldn't hold him down, but the pursuit, the continued hustle down the field. Knight had time to throw the ball, but the secondary on their receivers. What a huge play on first down.
And I'm
Brings up third down.
Still shocked how Knight held on to the football. As we take a look at the Saltwater Seafood scoring drive. 9 plays, 60 yards, but look at this. It took a minute 17 to go 60 yards in 9 plays. That keeps the Bulldogs in it. A second recovered onside kick of the game by Terry Sanford. Second down and 15, pass is caught right at midfield. First down, the freshman, Dre Jackson, leaps up, brings it in, and moves the chains with an even minute to play.
And Jackson had an earlier play down the seam, couldn't connect, couldn't hang on. They're stepping up in a huge way.
NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics first down. Your smile is our passion. Into Rams territory at the 46-yard line. The Bulldogs, Jay, still have 2 timeouts. Again, the composure by Knight after he just took a big sack, lofts one right over the coverage to the freshman.
Great touch on the ball.
Pressure again. Escaping is Knight. Tracked down from behind, and down he goes to midfield. Pursuit. Josh Pullen, who has scored 3 touchdowns on the ground for the Rams.
And the quarterback is brought down by number 6.
The clock stops at 46.7.
Now some of these top offensive players coming in the game on defense. There's Adorno, number 55, right in the middle. And number 7's been all over the place tonight. And then Pullen has done the job on offense. What a big play now. And third down coming up with the timeout. Both these teams an opportunity to regroup and try to finish out the ballgame.
Well, when the Rams have needed to get pressure on the quarterback, who have they gone to? They've gone to Pullen, they've gone to Kyle, they've gone to Adumwe. And they're hanging on. 34-28, 1 timeout left now for the Bulldogs. You brought it up a moment ago. The irony now of that blocked extra point when the wrong personnel was on the field because the Bulldog defense didn't think a touchdown was signaled. It wound up, it was that crew that got the blocked PAT, which could win the game for the Bulldogs. Amazing as that sounds, but still, long way to go. They're 51 yards away.
Terry Sanford in pressure situations on that last drive performed. So for them, they should be confident here. The big thing for them, the offensive line has to get Knight time to throw the ball.
5 receiver formation again. Deep ball, left side, it's loose. It's intercepted by Rolesville. Sir Ethan Daniel with his second of the night.
And the pass is intercepted by number 30, Ethan
for Sir
Daniel.
Ethan and the Rolesville Rams. Soon to be 6-0.
Flag on the field.
And they're going for Taekwon Hayes, number 2. Knight knew exactly where he wanted to go with the ball. The safety, the corner, both those guys flowed over. Sir Ethan, what a play, reading Knight's eyes coming over.
Penalty marker at the end of that play, a block in the back against the Rams. But that is basically moot. It was post-interception. 36 seconds left. The Bulldogs have 1 time.
First and 10 Rams.
And the Rams in victory formation. 34-28 Rolesville. And the Bulldogs can stop the clock only once. And now the officials will respot the football here. The penalty evidently was declined. They'll remark the ball to 41-yard line. Bruce McClellan's team, they had a late game opportunity. Certainly didn't play perfectly. Had a tough time stopping the run game. Forced 1 turnover. taking a knee. Byron Brown.
Spectators in the stands are asked to stay.
Will Terry Sanford take his final timeout? It does not look as though they will. And the Rolesville Rams, under first-year head coach Martin Samick, are moving to 6-0, heading toward their first winning season in school history. The non-conference work is over. The conference work begins in earnest in the next 6.
And as time
Rolesville, it's a final, a 34-28 victory over Terry Sanford.
Terry Sanford Bulldogs 28, Rolesville Rams 34.
Celebration begins here at the farm. Rolesville remains undefeated. We're coming back. A visit with the Happy Rams crew here at the farm. When we return, Rolesville beats Terry Sanford 34-28. The Rolesville Rams to 6-0, best start in school history, and trying for that first winning season, but they have aspirations for more. Patrick Kanish, Jay Sonhalter up here in the booth. Aaron Summers is down with the undefeated Rolesville Rams in their first year. Head coach Martin Samick.
Coach, your defense forced 3 turnovers, one with 46 seconds left to go in the game. Terry Sanford trying to take the lead. How is your defense able to answer the call every time?
Well, I said it before the game, like whoever has the most turnovers is probably going to lose the game. And we won the turnover battle, and our defense came up big when they needed to, and God bless them. They did a great job when it was time to do a good job.
You said this was going to be a big test for your team. Physical Terry Sanford learn from your team tonight.
I think what we learned was the adversity that we faced, because they kept coming back, that we didn't quit, and when it came down to it, we had the guts to win the football game.
All right, you're undefeated. 6-0.
Yes, 6-0.
What does that say to the rest of the area football out there?
Maybe Rolesville's arrived.
All right. Well, here's your Friday Night Rivals trophy.
Well, for a first-year head coach who maybe didn't have complete buy-in of his players a couple of months ago, that comment right there might absolutely lead to the full buy-in from the Rolesville Rams. Rolesville Rams have arrived.
Yeah.
And you saw the eruption from the Rolesville Rams. 6-0 for the first time in school history.
I love the confidence he showed, and to see the excitement from his team, this program doing outstanding things on the field. But what you saw tonight was the mental part, the adversity they faced, finding a way to make plays. Now, Terry Sanford, give them a lot of credit because they continue to fight back. But Rolesville, the confidence they have from their coach and the confidence they have from their action on the field to make plays when things got tough, that's going to propel them into a special season.
All right, Rolesville to 6-0, Terry Sanford to 3-2. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful folks at Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, NC Assist Loan, and Riddle and Brantley, who make all these games possible. We'd also like to thank our other great supporters for their contributions. Wake 86 and Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, the U.S. Marines, NC Oral Surgery and Orthodontics, Western Carolina University, A+ Tree and Crane, and Saltwater Seafood. We'd also like to thank the participating schools and their administrators tonight, Terry Sanford and our host, Rolesville High. Next Friday, Holly Springs takes on the Garner Trojans. Don't miss the Friday Night Rivals Report, Friday mornings at 7:10 on Pulse FM. We'll highlight the week's matchup, key players, and everything you need to know. Friday mornings, 7:10 on Pulse FM 96.9 and 102.5. For Aaron Summers, Jay Sonhalter, and the entire Friday Night Rivals team, Patrick Kanish saying so long from the farm, where the Rolesville Rams remain unbeaten. The Rolesville Rams have arrived. They beat Terry Sanford 34-28.